Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? There we go. Okay. We are live on all platforms. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Welcome back. Let me know if you can hear me all right, as usual. But welcome back. It's good to have you all here. Hey, Simi. How are you doing? So, no viewers on Purple just yet, which is unusual. Normally we've got a couple here by now, but I don't know. Hopefully they'll come along. Maybe I should try and quickly restart the stream over there just to be on the safe side. They might not have got the message, the notification. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that, Purple. I just restarted the stream real quick because I wasn't sure if people had got the notification that I was live. But hello, MixAims, and hello, Max. How are you doing? Hello, Simi on TikTok, and hello, Harry, as well. Pretty sure you've already asked me that question several times before. And if you haven't, literally everyone else has about 1,000,000 times anyway. What's happening, says Max. Well, Max, today we are going to be playing some more Thomas and Friends Wonders of Sodor. And I'm very excited to be playing this again. I loved this game so much the first time round. I think it's a fantastic game. You know, big Thomas fan, big rail fan. Great to finally play an official train simulator game set within the Thomas and Friends universe. So I had to play it on stream a second time, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is probably going to be the last time that we play it on stream until DLC comes out. Now, there is going to be DLC for this game. Let's make it absolutely clear. As someone who plays Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World, there is going to be DLC for this game. So I will definitely be playing it again as and when that DLC comes out. And I'll probably talk more about that later, because I think a lot of people have been overly ambitious with the kind of DLCs that they've been requesting. I think we need to manage expectations a little bit, but there will definitely be DLC, and we will play it again when those DLCs come out. But for today, I just want to finish the main storyline. There's a few story missions that we still need to do, and I'm also going to try and get all of the collectibles around the map. And then we've essentially 100%ed the base game then, which means we can then put it to rest for a while, bring it back some other time when the DLC comes out. That's the plan. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get into it. When are you playing? FS25 says no name. Next Farming Sim stream will be Friday the 1st of May, if all goes according to plan. Is everyone still there on Purple, by the way? I'm still not getting any messages, any chat messages through on Purple. I'm wondering if everything's okay over there. I had to restart. Oh, you had to restart Purple completely. It could be a problem on that end then. I don't know. For some reason, like, normally we get a couple of messages in chat before the stream starts, but today, nothing. So I'm guessing it's a problem on the Purple end. No matter. You're here. That's the main thing. So yeah, if everyone's good, we will go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the game. I'll keep the music on until the game's launched. There we go. Okay, switch over to the game view. There we go. Okay. Oh, I forgot to skip the intro music. I think that's copyrighted. Here we are. We're back in the game. So you may remember we played this... Oh, hi, Shadow Knight Godzilla and Matt Walter on YouTube. How are you both doing? You may remember we played this about a month ago, like the week it came out, and we had a lot of fun with it. That was actually the day after I got affiliate on Purple, so it was good fun. And we're going to play it again. We've got a few more missions to do. We have 2 at Farquhar. At Farquhar Quarry, sorry. We have, I think, a couple at Knapford. We got 1 at Knapford. And I think that might be it, actually. Ooh. Yeah, we've done the one at Kelsthorpe Road, we've done the one at Vickerstown, and we've done the one at Vickerstown Yard, both of those. So there's actually only 3 more story missions to do. And then we got the collectibles, so we still have to find 2 paintings, 10 conductors' hats, 12 whistles, and 10 books. I am going to use a guide for these, because I've already looked everywhere, and there's a lot that I still haven't found yet. So we will look up a guide and go around the map and collect all of these. But first things first, we're going to finish off the story missions. So let's start with... Let's do Percy's Troublesome Day. Let's start with that one. Also, let me know if the game's too loud, by the way. It's a bit loud on my end, but it might just be my headphones being a bit too loud. Hey, Forrest, how you doing, by the way? Okay, here we go.
Percy's Troublesome Day.
I'm good today. Glad to hear it, Matt. Great, thank you. Glad to hear it, Forrest. Okay, here's our boy. Here's Percy. I just did a piano cover of Percy's theme. Also, why is my camera lagging? Why is my camera lagging on this game? It did not lag on this game last time. Are you joking right now? I bet it's because of the rain. There's no way the rain can cause that much of a frame rate issue.
It's that green caterpillar with red stripes.
Jesus Christ. I really need to just get a better PC or a capture card, don't I?
Please do be quiet.
Percy said sternly.
I don't have time for your tricks today. We'll show him some tricks.
Okay. Oh, it's good now. It's the rain. It is the rain. Look at that. Okay, so I'm in the cab. No problem. Outside the cab. Lag. It's the rain. The rain is really tanking the webcam. So we'll try and stay in the inside view for this particular scenario, I think. Anyway, we got some shunting to do. Let's go and grab some trucks. What I was going to say is I just did a piano cover of Percy's theme a few days ago, which you can see on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. So go check that out if you're interested. And contact. Okay, back it up. Bit faster than that. There we go. So I've not really done a scenario in this game like completely with the first person camera before. See how well we can manage it. Hope you had fun yesterday, just in the car coming home from the Grand National. I had so much fun, Forrest. What an amazing day out it was. Got loads of video as well, so there's going to be plenty of posts on Instagram. If you don't know, Instagram is where I'm going to be posting all of my train-related stuff from now on. So if you want to see all the footage that I got at the East Lancashire Railway yesterday, that will all be coming over the next few months, I guess, on Instagram. And it gave me a good idea, actually, about TikTok, which I'll tell you more about in a bit. But it gave me an idea for how I could potentially increase the amount of videos that I am putting out on TikTok as well. Okay, uncouple. Back it up. Something's definitely going weird on purple today, because we've only got one viewer over there right now. I'm guessing it's you, Max. I wonder why that is. Very strange. Because last time we played this game on stream, it got really good views as well, which I was really surprised by. I was surprised how many people actually watched me play this last time, especially on purple. So it's very odd that you're the only one here today, Max. But yeah, it seems like something's happening on the purple end, and it's just not sent people the notification or whatever. This is why I always announce my streams on the Discord server as well, for anyone who misses the messages from TikTok, YouTube, and Purple, because sometimes they don't send out notifications properly when they should. When I streamed last, I had 4 people in stream, and they were all chatting, and Purple said there was only 1. Oh yeah, to be fair, the live view count isn't always accurate. Like, it says there's 5 viewers on TikTok right now. That's probably not accurate either. There's always a couple more or less, in my experience. Hey Draydog, how you doing? I'm planning on heading to the bus museum near me soon. It costs £8 to get in. I'm assuming it's because it's not cheap to preserve old vehicles like trains and buses. True, true. I don't have a problem with paying to get into like heritage museums and stuff like that, because it does all go towards like the upkeep of the collections that they have. Like the National Railway Museum is free to get in, but you can choose to make a donation when you buy your ticket. I always chip in like a £5, because it all goes towards preserving the collection, you know. Because, like you say, they're not easy to maintain, you know. They're not easy to keep in good condition. With museums, it's not so much of a problem, but with something like a heritage railway, where they're actually moving, you know. There's also like heritage tramways, and there are places that run heritage buses. Obviously, they've got to be maintained. But like I say, I really don't have a problem chipping in a bit of money for stuff like that, because I'm all for preserving, you know, older vehicles and stuff like that. Hope you had fun yesterday at that train place. I did, STFC. How are you doing today? I had the most wonderful time. Really, really great event. First time I've ever actually seen Tornado, an engine that I've always wanted to see. And there were some other great engines there as well. And I'm definitely going to be going to more like heritage railways in future and doing more content like that. I've actually been thinking about going to the Middleton Railway in Leeds next time. It's the oldest preserved railway in the world. It's the oldest continuously operating railway in the world. It's still running to this day. They're open every weekend. Every Saturday they do a diesel day, and every Sunday they do steam. And because it's a very small railway, it's got mostly like shunting engines, like little Hunslet tank engines and stuff like that, little shunting diesels. So I think that'd be fun for my next day out. There's a place I go on the south coast called Swanage that has a lovely heritage railway. Yes, I've heard very good things about Swanage. There's so many great heritage railways in the UK. I could be wrong on this, but I think the UK probably has more heritage railways than any other country in the world. Like, we are very big on preservation when it comes to heritage railways. The very first heritage railway in the world was the Talyllyn Railway in Wales, and that was the railway that basically inspired Thomas the Tank Engine, because Reverend Wilbur Awdry was a volunteer at the Talyllyn Railway, and he even based the Skarloey Railway from the railway series on the Talyllyn. So there's so many great heritage railways in the UK. Obviously, I don't drive, so the best option is to start by visiting ones that are nearby. Like, I've been to the Keighley and Worth Valley in North Yorkshire a couple of times. I've been to Peak Rail in the south of the Peak District. I would like to go to the North Yorkshire Moors. That's not too far. The Great Central Railway in Loughborough. There's a few others that are fairly close by, but one day, you know, either I learn to drive or I fork out a bit of money to spend a weekend. But I would like to go a bit further afield. I'd like to go to the Severn Valley. I'd like to go to Swanage. I'd love to go to the Bluebell Railway. But all of those are really far south. They're quite a long way away for me to get to. You might be able to find coach trips. True. I don't like coaches though. I'd rather go on the train, even though it's more expensive. Hi Charlie, how are you doing? Happy this game's back, says STFC. Had such fun last time. Yeah, it was really great last time, and I'm hoping it will be again today. It's a little bit quiet right now, but hopefully it'll pick up a bit. Fair point, says Forrest. Yeah, I just like going on the train. Even if it's more expensive, the train is always my preferred option. And it's usually quicker as well, like more expensive but quicker. Draydog says, for me it's quicker to get to London by train, but it's cheaper to get the coach. Yeah, exactly. Like my sister, when she came to visit from Wales, last time she came to visit, she came on the train, and it only took her, like, I say only, it only took her 6 hours, but it cost a lot of money. So she ended up going back on the coach, which took like 10 hours nearly, but it was way cheaper. Have you always been into trains, says Kay? I have, Kay, yes. I've always absolutely loved trains. Ever since I was a kid. I mean, I grew up with Thomas the Tank Engine, you know. I was a huge Thomas fan growing up, and still am. But this is what really got me interested in trains in general. And it's just always been something that I've had a great passion for. You know, I've got a model railway on the shelf behind me there. I visit like heritage railways and stuff like that. I just went to an open day at the East Lancashire Railway yesterday, which was so much fun. Great day out. And if you, like I say, if you want to see my train-related content, it's all on Instagram. I try to keep my train-focused stuff over there. But there is a lot of it, and there's a lot more still to come. So I went to Brighton for Pride, and the train tickets were in the hundreds for Pride weekend. Yeah, anything that goes through London is immediately way more expensive as well. That's the annoying thing. Like, I've got a friend who lives in Brighton, and I would like to go and visit him. But, oh, thank you for following. Stream boot. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me just... There we go. Yeah, so I've got a friend who lives in Brighton, but I live in Doncaster. So Doncaster is directly north of London, and Brighton is directly south of London. So if you want to get from Doncaster to Brighton, you have to go straight through London, which means it costs a fortune. But if I took a detour, like if I went down to Bristol and then from there to Brighton, it'd end up costing the same price because it's a much longer distance. There's no real way for me to get to Brighton without going through London, and it costs a fortune to go through London. So, it's annoying. Hey, it's Thomas, look. There's our boy. You could get a taxi, but that's going to cost more. How do you mean, Dre Dog? A taxi where? To see your friends? A taxi to Brighton from Doncaster? I don't think you can even do that, can you?
Phew,
and if you could, it'd cost
close,
hundreds, right?
Said Percy.
Now that's enough from you trucks. I've had enough trouble today.
It's 200 miles from Doncaster to Brighton.
Spoil sport.
I'm working, but it's quiet. No worries, Charlie. If you have to, you know, pop off for work at any point, no, don't worry about it. Hope you enjoyed yesterday. I did so much. Just followed on Insta. Thank you, Forrest. Thank you very much. There's taxi companies that don't mind long distance, considering it gives them money. I'll be honest. I don't know of any taxi that. I don't know of any taxi firm that does distances that long. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've never heard of a taxi that would take you like more than 50 miles, maybe. And surely, like I say, to go from London to go from Doncaster to Brighton in a taxi would probably end up costing more than the train at that point. Hey Saul, how you been? Camera's a bit laggy. It is, Chaz, yeah, it's because of the rain. The rain physics are slowing down my webcam. It's always something else. It's always some new excuse, I know, but I just really need to get a capture card. What if, though? Okay, what if you got the train to... What if you got a train to, like, the last station before London? Like, the last station before you enter the Greater London area. And then got on another train, like, on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, if I got off at... What's the nearest station to London? Peterborough. If I got off at Peterborough, and then sort of skirted around, you know, to whatever station is just outside London to the south, and then got on a train from there to Brighton, that could probably be cheaper. But then how are you going to get around London? You know, I mean, taxi from perhaps. I don't know. It's. I just wish it didn't cost so much to go to London. Or to go through London. That's the thing, I don't even want to go to London, I just want to go through it. But because you have to change at London, that's when it gets expensive. If you have to leave the train at London, which you do, because no fucking railway line goes through London, they all terminate. Like, you've got, like, 5 different... No, there's like a dozen different mainline stations that all terminate at various points around London, and there's no line that just goes straight through. You can't get on a train in Doncaster that just goes all the way through London and then down to Brighton. No, you have to get off at King's Cross, then make your way down to Waterloo, and then get on another train. And it's the same from east to west. If you want to go from, like, Bristol to, I don't know, like, Great Yarmouth or something, you can't just do it on one train. You got to get off at Paddington, go across London, and then get on another train at Liverpool Street. And the only trains that do actually go through London itself are, like, the Elizabeth line and stuff like that, which, again, they don't go that far out. So you've still got to get off, so you've still got to change somewhere, is my point. There's no, like, mainline railway that goes through London. They all just stop on the outside of it, and then you've got to, like, just try and get across London itself to get to the next station, you know what I mean? It annoys me. You know, I never thought I'd be the one to say it, but London has too many train stations. It does. Says I'm going to build a railway from Edinburgh all the way to Brighton, straight shot all the way. I'd use it. Can't step away, finish cooking. No worries, Max. No worries. That's the thing, though. Like, it's not. Oh god, I didn't realise we were going to come into this so quickly. That's the problem, it's not something that can be easily fixed, because it's too late now. London is finished, London's been built, right? It's too late to build a mainline railway straight through the centre of London now. So the only thing you can do is these, like, temporary, you know, stick a plaster on it, like they've done with the Elizabeth line. The Elizabeth line's great. You know, it's a great solution, it's a great fix to the problem, but it's not a permanent fix, you know, it's a band-aid. It's just like, right, if you get off at Reading and then get on this other train that goes through London, then you can get to the other side and you can get on another train. I mean, what really is the difference between the Elizabeth line and just getting off at Paddington and using the tube to cross London? You know what I mean? It's a temporary solution, really. And you can't have a permanent solution because you can't just demolish half of London to build a new railway line. So it is what it is. It's a problem that can't be solved, really. Was there really a bot that used your name? There was, Max, there was. They'll stop at nothing. They will try everything, they really will. I log into TikTok and there's a live in progress. Indeed there is, Kraken. Sorry about the camera lag, by the way. I think it's just because of the rain, so hopefully the next scenario that we do, we won't have this problem. But it seems like the rain is really tanking the frame rate. Percy, it is Percy, yay! I was just saying, I did a piano cover of Percy's theme just a few days ago. Might sound stupid, but maybe get a plane. Planes are really cheap. Honestly, I mean, I have seen people get from like the north of England to the south by taking a plane to Amsterdam, and it's genuinely cheaper than getting the train, which is insane. I actually think it is ridiculous that the country that essentially invented the railway has such shit railways now. Like, the country that pioneered rail travel now has some of the worst fucking rail travel in Europe. It's so expensive, it's so slow, it takes ages. You look at some of the rail networks, look at Germany, look at trains in Germany, look at how fast they are, look at how cheap they are, look at how punctual they are, and look at trains in the UK. The fact that for me to... Right, the fact that for me to get a train to London costs over £100, and it's literally just down the line. Like, I can get there on one train, it's 2 stops. You get on at Doncaster, it calls at Peterborough, and then it calls at London, and that costs over £100. It's fucked. It's so fucked. Do you have a rail card, says Chaz? I don't at the minute. But even if I did, the savings aren't that great, if we're being honest. They were when I was a bit younger. There was the 16 to 25 rail card that I had. I got a free 16 to 25 rail card because I'm with Santander and they offer that with student accounts. So I got a free rail card. That gave me a third off, which was really good. I don't know how much the 26 to 31 gives you, but there is a 26 to 31. Kraken says, saw it was great. I remember arranging Thomas diecast on the shelves at my Saturday job. Cool, Kraken. I saw a lot of Thomas merch yesterday at the ELR as well. I didn't end up buying any, but I did buy something, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Forrest says, I've got a rail card, it does give you more value for money, but not a major saving. Yeah, that's the thing, it's just... Like I say, it genuinely annoys me, as someone who's really passionate about trains, it really annoys me to see the country that invented trains being so bad at trains, you know? Just... miss after miss after miss. The thing is, like I say, we pioneered railways in this country. 100 years ago, this country led the world in rail travel. That's not an exaggeration. Our railways were the best on the planet. And look at them now. We just haven't kept up with the times. We haven't kept up with other countries. Look at Germany. Look at Japan. Look at China. China, in the last 25 years, has completely transformed their rail network and built thousands of miles of high-speed lines. It's taken us decades to almost build HS2. It's still not even finished yet. One single fucking high-speed line from London to Birmingham, that's it. Just one high-speed line from London to Birmingham has cost almost £100 billion and isn't fucking finished. Whereas China, in 25 years, have built thousands of miles of high-speed rail. It's actually fucking insane how appalling the railways are in this country today. and I will keep talking about it. It pisses me off so much. As someone who's really passionate about trains, it really bothers me how shit our trains are today when they used to be world leading. They used to be so fucking good. I went to the National Railway Museum last week. I saw Mallard, the fastest steam engine ever built in my hometown of Doncaster. The fastest steam loco on the planet, built in my hometown. And I look at the trains today, and they're just fucking ass. They're so bad. I'm getting worked up about it now. I'm getting any opportunity that I have to complain about our train network, about our rail network, I will take it. I'm sorry, but I will. Who do you think has the best train system? Probably Northeast Asia by miles. Like I say, I think China's is really good. I know it's not really fair to compare the UK to China because China, you know, has one of the biggest economies in the world. But it is astonishing to see what the Chinese rail network looks like now. At the turn of the century, China was still using steam engines. Like, they still had mainline steam traction in China in the early 2000s. It is ridiculous how quickly China has rejuvenated their rail system. And, you know, ours has just stagnated. Ours just hasn't gone anywhere. And it's sad. It's sad. Above all else. It's not only annoying and frustrating and, you know, rage-inducing, it's just sad. We literally used to be the best in the world at railways, and now look at us. It's sad. Hey Sol, how are you doing today? I'm good, Leon. How are you doing? At least you have a train system for travel. That's true, Max. That is true. To be fair, it could be worse. You know, you look at the United States, one of the biggest countries on Earth, and their rail network is basically non-existent. So it could be worse, but it could also be a damn sight better. You know. Kraken says, I think we need real trains with faces on the front. That'd probably cheer everyone up. It would. It would. If only. Okay, sorry, Sir Topham Hat. I'm just going to glide past you because my wheels are locked. There we go.
Percy arrived at the harbour just in time. Sir Topham Hat was waiting for him. Well done, Percy. Right on time, he said. I've heard you've had quite a difficult day today.
Does anyone else notice that in this game, whenever it focuses on a character, it doesn't actually focus on them? Like, whenever there's a human character in the scene, they're always blurry. Why are we focused on the crates in the background right now?
I'm sending you to the works for a shiny new coat of green paint.
Thank you.
Percy beamed with pride.
Okay, that was Percy's Troublesome Day. Hopefully the next scenario, not Gordon and the Trucks, we've already played that one. Hopefully the next scenario will not lag as much, because it won't be raining. I met Sir Topham Hat and made him a cuppa. Nice one, Kraken. It's like that across most English industries, cars, trains, motorways. That's true as well, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, the same is true for cars and stuff like that. We did used to have a very, very big car industry, which is basically dead now. I think every single British car company is now owned by a German company, which is also sad to see. But I'm not really a car person, so I don't care about that as much as the trains, to be honest. But yeah, it's... I just think this country is a bit rubbish, isn't it, really? I mean, Sorry if I'm gonna rile up any of the Reform voters in the audience, but I just think the UK is a bit crap, innit? It didn't used to be. What happened to it? Random fact, the legend who played Arkwright and Fletcher spent a few years of his childhood in Oxford and owned an antique shop. I didn't know that. Ronnie Barker owned an antique shop. Cool. Britnat's foaming at the mouth, says P. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, we can all agree that Britain's a bit rubbish today, but we disagree on why that is. They just think it's because of immigrants. you know what I mean? They just think that every single problem this country has is because of me and immigrants. But at least we all do agree that the country is in ruins. So there's some common ground there. STFC says, would you ever consider getting a car? With the petrol keep going up, it won't be much cheaper than trains. Yeah, honestly, I think there has never been a worse time to start learning to drive. I think, you know, not for the first time, but, you know, I think I'm very secure and happy with my decision to not drive, considering that petrol is probably going to end up at more than £3 a gallon very soon. There's some good things going on in this country. M&S bakery, cookies, and Tiger bread. That's true, Kraken Wakes. Tiger bread does make you proud to be British, to be fair. And you know what makes me proud to be British? Heritage railways. I'm gonna say it. I went to the East Lancashire Railway yesterday, and genuinely, that's real patriotism. No, you know, fucking flying a Union Jack out of your window. Go and appreciate some of our actual history. If you really wanna be patriotic, go to museums, go to heritage railways. You know, engross yourself in our actual history and heritage, instead of just waving a little flag and saying, "Oh, I hate immigrants," because that's not real patriotism. Hot political take from Ashbridge Industries. Flying a little flag and saying, you know, deport them all. That's not patriotism. Patriotism is being proud, is actually being proud of your country, you know, the things that it's done in the past. And I'm really proud of our heritage. Sorry for the political discussion. I'm going to try not to get too political today, but it always makes me laugh when people insinuate that, you know, if you're not flying a flag every day, then you're not a true patriot. That's not patriotism. Patriotism is not just, you know, my country's great and nothing will ever convince me otherwise. Patriotism, to me, is about loving your country, but also recognizing the problems and wanting it to be better, rather than just be like, oh, my country's great, my country never does anything wrong. You know what I mean? And you see it a lot in the MAGA movement over in America. You know, you see a lot of Trump supporters like, you know, I love my country, but they don't actually love it. They just say that they do. They don't actually. If you really loved it, you would want it to be improved, right? You would want things to get better. That's real love, you know. Real love is not just blind puppy dog eyes, adore every single thing that someone does. Real love is wanting to help someone grow as a person, and that goes for patriotism as well. If you really are a patriot, if you're really going to call yourself a patriot, then you've got to do more than just wave a flag. You know, you've got to want to improve it, and you've also got to actually appreciate it. You know, what makes you a patriot? What about flying a flag makes you a patriot? And what, you know, do you actually appreciate this country? Do you actually appreciate our culture and our history? You know, like I say, do you go to museums? Do you go to, like, cultural events? Do you do May Day festivals and Morris dancing and stuff like that? Do you actually genuinely appreciate British culture? Or are you just waving a flag and telling people to go back to their own country? Because that's not what patriotism is. Okay? soapbox over. I don't know how we ended up on this discussion when we're playing Thomas the Tank Engine and friends. But yeah, discussion over. I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to say that, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with patriotism if you're actually going to be patriotic. You know, just waving a flag is not patriotism. That's my opinion. That's all I've got to say on the matter. Anyway, before we get back into the game, I did want to quickly show you what I bought yesterday at the East Lancashire Railway, so I will just go ahead and grab that. Hi JR Bennett, how are you doing? Oh, Max says, waving a flag and telling others to go back to their country, you sure you're not in the US? It's exactly the same. That's the thing, like, reform... I'm going to stop talking about politics, but one last thing that I want to say. Reform UK is literally just MAGA. Like, it's the exact same movement, word for word. Reform and MAGA, they are the exact same thing. They say that, you know, when the US sneezes, the UK catches a cold. You know, whatever happens in the US, the UK won't be far behind. And it's very true with politics. So yeah. The reason that there are similarities is because everything that the US does, it's going to happen in the UK a couple of years later. So yeah, Reform and MAGA, they're just one and the same. They're exactly the same thing. Anyway, that's it. Right, no more political discussion. We've talked enough about politics. We're supposed to be playing Thomas the Tank. It's supposed to be a game about talking trains, right? So I'm going to go and show you what I bought from the East Lancashire Railway yesterday, and then we're going to play the next mission. Okay, I'll be right back. On another note, this music is pretty epic. It is really good music, isn't it, Max? Really, really great music in this game. Okay, so this is what I bought at the East Lancashire Railway yesterday. Ta-da! It's a new engine for my N-gauge layout. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but there it is. Ta-da! It's a 4MT. An Ivert 4MT, very, very big tank engine. And yeah, I bought this yesterday at the East Lancashire Railway. I have been wanting to get a new engine for my layout for a while, because if you've been following my, you know, updates about my layout on Instagram and TikTok, I currently only have one steam engine. So I wanted to get more steam engines for my layout. And when I went to the National Railway Museum last week, I was planning on getting something there, but they only had J50s, and I don't really like those. They're just not my favourite looking tank engines. So I thought, you know, I thought to myself, maybe at the East Lancashire Railway they might have some model railway stuff for sale, and they did. They had like a little market there with little stalls, and people were selling like second-hand model rail stuff. Most of it was 00 gauge, but I did manage to find 3 N-gauge locos. One was a 9F, which would be way too big for my layout. The other was an austerity engine, which I really, really wanted. It looked so cool, but it was £90. This was 57, which is a pretty good price. Now, it is a Hornby Minitrix, so it doesn't run very well, but you know, it's a low price for what it is. For those of you who don't know, it's an expensive hobby. Railway modelling is an expensive hobby, so you do have to shop around to find stuff for a decent price. But yeah, that cost me £57. It's, again, like I say, it's a Hornby Minitrix 5MT, 4MT, sorry, Ivert tank engine. It is really, really cool. And it is a bit big. The one thing I will say, it's quite big. I know I'm saying that, and it's like, look at the size of it in my hands, but let me just get my 00 shunter to show you the size difference. 1 second. Okay, so this. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch back over to the big camera for a second, just so that you can actually see these a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so this is my current shunter that I have on the layout. It's a Class 08 diesel electric in BR Blue. I've had this for a very long time. This was about 8 years ago, I think I've had this. It still runs, but it is quite badly damaged. You can see that the chassis is very loose. It has lost both its front and back couplers, and I have to keep reattaching them, and they keep falling back off. It's lost one of its front buffers. The ladder grab bars are bent. It's very bruised and battered. So although I love it, and although it does still work, I wanted to replace it, and I wanted to replace it specifically with a steam engine. And I wanted to get something that was a similar size. So the Austerity, which is what I really, really wanted to get, I saw it and I thought that would be perfect, because the Austerity is basically the exact same size as a Class 08. Whereas the one that I ended up getting, the 4MT, it's quite a bit bigger. There is quite a size difference there, as you can see. This is a big tank engine. As tank engines go, it's quite big. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. It's not what I was planning to buy. Like I say, when I went there, I was really hoping that I'd find an Austerity, or maybe something even smaller, like a Terrier. But yeah, I saw that, 57 quid. I thought, you know what, I'll have it. So there we go. That's my souvenir from the East Lancashire Railway. That's what I bought yesterday at the Legends of Steam Gala. I also bought a fridge magnet, you know, for a more traditional souvenir. But yeah, that's there it is. And it does run, and obviously on Instagram in the next few days I'll post some footage of it running and shunting and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just really wanted to show that to you all. There we go. Is that N-Gauge? It is. It is 91107. Yes, this is N-Gauge. I've been modelling N-Gauge for about 12 years now. In fact, yeah, it must have been about 12 years. I did used to have 00 when I was a kid. I got a couple of 00 starter sets, but I just didn't have space for them. So I switched to N-Gauge about 12 years ago. I've been doing N-Gauge ever since. I really love it. It's the perfect size for me. You know, any smaller and it'd be difficult to work with. Any bigger and there's not really enough space for it. It's not the most popular gauge, especially in the UK. It's very popular in Japan. There's loads of Japanese N-Gauge stuff. But I am very happy with N-Gauge. It's the gauge for me. It really is. So yeah, there we go. One last time, just so you can see them. There's my current Class 08 shunter, and there is the new kid on the block, the Ivet 4MT. I'm just going to leave them on my desk, so I don't have to get up again. But yeah, there we go. I just wanted to show you that. Those are the souvenirs that I bought yesterday from the East Lancashire Railway. Now back to the game. Back to the game, and let's see what we're going to do for the next scenario. I think we will go for first class engine. Let's do it. Oh, what happened? There we go. Okay. Oh, before we begin, there are a couple of questions that I missed, so let me just rewind a little bit and see. J.R. Bennett says, "It looks amazing. What are you going to name it?" I don't know, to be honest. I haven't really thought of a name. It isn't named already, unfortunately. Some of them already are. My N-Gauge Jubilee class is already named. It's called Victory. This one doesn't have any name or anything like that. But yeah, it's good. Name it Amber, says Charlie. That's a really nice idea, honestly. That is a really nice idea. For anyone who doesn't know, I had a pet jumping spider named Amber who died last week. I think that's a really nice suggestion, honestly, Charlie. I think we'll name the new tank engine Amber in honor of my jumping spider Amber. Thank you for that suggestion, Charlie. That's really sweet. Okay. There were a couple of other questions that I missed. Kraken says, I'd like a 125 and one of those long diesels. Oh, a Deltic? Oh, I have an N-gauge Deltic. It doesn't work, though. It doesn't run. JR says, I personally do 00, but have an interest in 009 and N-gauge. 009 is really cool. Yes, I would love to... I'd love to do 009, honestly. Because you kind of get the best of both worlds. Like, the buildings and stuff like that are at 00 scale. But obviously, because the engines are narrow gauge, they run on N-gauge track. It is a really interesting gauge to work with. Deltic, yes, says Kraken. Yes, I love Deltics. Also built in Doncaster. I've got... I do have an N-gauge Deltic, but it doesn't work. It's a Lima, so they're not known for making models that work. But it is a really cool static model anyway. Anyway, I think that was all the questions, so let's get back to the game. Are you getting close to 2,000 on TikTok, says STFC? We are. We are currently at 1,921 followers. So if you would like to help me reach 2K on TikTok, please do follow. Right, back to the game.
Early one morning, Percy arrived back at Tidmouth Sheds.
We've been distracted
very
enough.
Tired. Morning, Percy, said Thomas. You do look tired. Yes, I am, said Percy sleepily. I was up all night delivering the mail. It seems like there are more letters and parcels than ever. Heh, scoffed James. You're only a little engine. No wonder you struggle to manage those heavy vans. Perhaps Sir Topham Hatt should give the job to another engine, or even Harold. I'm sure they could manage.
Is Harold in this, says Kraken Wakes? He literally just got name dropped.
I can manage fine
but no, he's
on
not.
my own, thank you, said Percy firmly.
No, he just got a name drop. What a coincidence that it should happen just as you asked that question. But Harold isn't actually in the game. There he is again, look.
It was Sir Topham Hatt, who had just arrived and had heard
Fat controller, or the blurry controller.
James, you think another engine should help take the mail. I think that's a very good idea, and I'm sure Percy wouldn't mind the lighter workload for a while. Percy was pleased, and James looked smug. That was until Sir Topham Hatt continued. I'm assigning both you and Percy to tonight's mail.
Can't see him, too blurry,
you
says
can
Max.
help him collect all the letters
Long-sightedness
and parcels that
be
need
like
to go to the mainland. James was horrified. But say, he protested, I'm supposed to be taking the express in the morning, and I can't do that if I've been busy all night pulling the mail train. I'm sure Emily wouldn't
Actually,
mind.
you don't say long-sighted in America, do you? You say far-sighted, right? So that joke probably didn't land. in the UK, we say short-sighted and long-sighted, but I think in the US, you say near-sighted and far-sighted.
Taking the express in your place, James, replied Sir Topham Hatt. Now the decision is final, so I'll hear no more about it. And Sir Topham Hatt turned...
Also, fun fact, I am actually very slightly long-sighted in my left eye, and I used to wear reading glasses. So yeah, fun fact. I don't wear them anymore. Probably should. I haven't been for a checkup in like 10 years. But I should probably get them checked out just in case. But yeah, I did used to wear reading glasses because I was just ever so slightly like +2 or something in my left eye.
And walked away.
Go get your eyes checked out. But it's expensive. It's not covered by the NHS. Eye care's not free in this country.
Later that night, James and Percy had collected their mail vans and were waiting for them to be loaded at Knapford Station. Percy was trying to explain to James what he had to do.
P says I got laser eye surgery and needed glasses again after a year. Oof. Oof.
James, you must remember to collect all the bags of mail at each station, explained Percy. Sometimes the mail will arrive by road, so you have to be patient and wait for the van to arrive and be loaded into your train.
Eye test, then cheap glasses off the internet is often my route. That is a good
James was
shout,
too
to be
busy
fair.
thinking about getting back to his shed and waking up to pull the morning express. Just then, the guard's whistle blew and the two engines set off.
Can we also talk about the fact that we have to pay money for the ability to see? I feel like it should be a basic right. Honestly, like I say, even in the UK where we do have free healthcare, we got the NHS. It doesn't cover eye care. It doesn't cover dental care. I don't understand. So if you have, if you have any kind of medical problem, the NHS will cover it, unless it's to do with your eyes or your teeth. Then you've got to pay for it to be done privately. I don't know why. I genuinely, there's probably a reason for it. There's probably some kind of, some kind of behind the scenes reason, but I do not understand why we have free healthcare in the UK, but we don't have free eye care or dental care. Like, what's that all about?
It's fine, thank you, James grumbled.
Like, I feel like eyes and teeth are pretty important parts of the body, right?
Bags of mail. It can't be that difficult.
Probably because it's the most common thing, so it'd cost a lot. Only thing I can think of. I guess that is true. But yeah, it should be. All healthcare should be free. Eye care, dental care. It should all be free, just like the majority of healthcare is on the NHS. Right. Free at point of use. I have to say that before some fucking smart ass comes into the comments like, it's not actually free, you pay for it with taxes. I know. We know. Whenever somebody says free healthcare, we mean free at the point of use. I know that it's paid for by taxes. You don't have to... I swear, anytime someone mentions free healthcare, there's always somebody who comes along like, hey, it's not actually free, don't you? You have to pay taxes for it. Yes, I do know that. I do know that, actually. Anyway, we're driving. We're in James. Let's go. Today's stream has been far too political. There's been far too much political discussion in today's Thomas and Friends stream. I really don't know why. It's just gone that way today. It's just gone in that direction. Anyway, so in case you were wondering what was happening, we are currently taking the mail with James. Birth of the Soul Party, says Crackerweights. Yeah, it's at this point in the stream that I would like to announce that I'm standing as an MP for Doncaster, representing an independent party called the Ashbridge Party. Let's change the subject, says Max. What's everyone's favourite food? Well, I like a full English breakfast, because I'm British. Nah, you thought you could change the subject away from politics, Max? No. I'm not going to let you now. Looking amazing. Thank you, Uncle Cringe. Bread or crisps, says Kraken Wakes. Or bread and crisps. Crisp sandwich, everybody. Come on. I mean, who doesn't love a good crisp sandwich? Now the question is, what's the best crisp for a crisp sandwich? Or I guess a simpler question would be, what's your favourite crisp? My favourite crisp is, and it's a bit of a hot take, it's a bit of an unpopular opinion, not everyone likes it, but my favourite flavour of crisp is prawn cocktail. I like a nice prawn cocktail. My least favourite flavour of crisp is salt and vinegar. And if I could remove one thing from the face of the earth, if I could put one thing into room 101, it'd be salt and vinegar crisps. I'm sorry if you like salt and vinegar crisps, but they are vile. I don't like them. Prawn cocktail all the way. If they got rid of salt and vinegar, I could buy multiples again. You are so right, Kraken. You are so right. The only reason I don't buy multi-packs of crisps is because they have salt and vinegar in and they don't get eaten. Like, I'd sooner buy a 6-pack of ready salted or a 6-pack of cheese and onion than a mixed pack, because I'm not going to eat the salt and vinegar. Replace the salt and vinegar with prawn cocktail. I'm going to say it. You might think that's controversial. You might think that's more controversial than any political commentary that I could make, but that's my hot take. Replace salt and vinegar with prawn cocktail in multi-packs of crisps. I would buy the shit out of that. If there was a multi-pack that had ready salted, cheese and onion, and prawn cocktail, perfect. Perfect. That's going in the Ashbridge Party manifesto. I'm going to legislate, if you vote me, when I become Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, I'm banning salt and vinegar crisps. I'm just completely outlawing salt and vinegar. And by law, all multi-packs will be required to contain prawn cocktail instead. There we go. You've heard my policies. If you think they're sensible, vote for me at the next election. Hey, Colin the Airplane Guy on YouTube, how are you doing? And hello, Charbel on YouTube as well, how are you? Sorry I've only just seen your comments, but how are you doing? The YouTube chat is normally so quiet that I miss when somebody actually does comment on it. Like, that we get so few comments on YouTube that I tend not to notice when there's any activity in it. But I hope everyone's doing well. And I apologise for the game lag again. I really don't know what it is today. Maybe I just need to give my computer a good clean out. Might be getting a bit too dusty in there. Because it feels like everything we've played in the last few days has been quite slow. Slower than usual.
Right, let's get all this mail loaded into the vans. Then we can be on our way.
Pick up all the weighted mail. Oh, this is new. I've got to actually go and pick the mail up. Do I not have a torch? Nope, guess not. Well, it's we can see anyway. It's not that dark. Chaz says the shop I go to has chocolate in a security box. Is that normal, or is it my shop? I've seen that before. I've seen it.
That's all the mail from this station.
We live in a low trust society.
The sooner we finish collecting all this mail, the sooner I can get back to my shed.
Try limiting the FPS. That's a good idea. I think it already is limited. I don't know why it wouldn't be. No, it isn't, and it's set to 61. Here's the problem. So I normally have it set at a flat 30. I never stream higher than 30 frames per second because I don't see the point. Look at that. And for some reason, the default frame rate for this game is 61. And I've seen other people play this game. The default frame rate of this game is 61 frames. For what reason? Why not 60? I don't understand. But it looks like I did reset it to 30. I remember in the last stream I set it to 30. It must have reset itself back to 61 when I updated the game recently. But hopefully that'll fix the lag issue. We should be on... Right, well that's not 30, is it? Look at that. I've set it to 30 and now it looks like absolute shit. This is not 30 frames per second. You're lying to me right now. This is not... This is... I'm not being funny. This is literally not 30. I'm being gaslit by the game right now. Okay, that looks better. That looks alright. Whenever I pan the camera around, it seems to slow down. It doesn't look like 30. It just doesn't look like 30 at all. Very strange. Maybe 31, said STFC. Yeah, let's try 31. That much mail on the train, that's why the rail system's in trouble. Honestly, Kraken, like, put a few more on there, right? No Name says, my favourite crisps are Frisps. I'm from Northern Ireland. I love Frisps. Frisps are great. Oh, by the way, Max, you were asking what a crisp sandwich is. Yes, it is. It is just potato chips in a sandwich. Oh shit! I've just closed the Twitch chat. I've just said the word that I'm not supposed to say. There we go. Whoops-a-daisy. But yeah, crisp sandwich is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a sandwich with potato chips in it. They are gorgeous. They honestly, the combination of the softness of the bread and the crunch of the crisps, it can't be beat. Someone said a bad word. I know how to fix that, says Max. Please don't do it, Max. Please don't do it. Are we considering that to be one of the bad words? I mean, TikTok does, clearly. Oh shit, whoa, go, no, wait, no, we're coming in too fast, Okay, my bad, I didn't realise how close we were to the next station. Okay, so why hasn't it taken me back to the checkpoint? What? Am I gonna have to restart the scenario? Bollocks! Are you joking? James looks pretty calm about it. Yeah, because he's a smug git. You know, he's always calm. They all are. They are so nonchalant. These engines are not stressed enough, considering the work that they do.
Very tired.
These motherfuckers be causing confusion and delay on a daily basis, and they really don't care.
Yes, I am, said Percy sleepily. I was up all night delivering the mail. It seems like there are more letters and parcels than ever. Heh, scoffed James. You're only a little engine. No wonder you struggle to manage those heavy vans. Perhaps Sir Topham Hatt should give the job to another engine, or even Harold. I'm sure they could manage the work. I can manage fine on my own, thank you, said Percy firmly.
8 o'clock finish
Perhaps,
today?
said
Yes,
the voice.
Chaz, yes.
You could do with a little help,
Should
Percy.
be.
It was Sir Topham Hatt, who had just arrived and had heard everything.
There he is.
James, you think another engine should help take the mail. I think that's a very good idea.
Topham,
I'm
could
sure
you
Percy wouldn't mind the lighter workload
take
for
a few
while.
steps back? Just back up a little bit.
Percy was pleased, and James looked smug. That was until Sir Topham Hatt continued.
If you just go and stand
I'm assigning both you
about
and
20
Percy
feet back.
to tonight's mail run. You can help him collect all the letters and parcels
I haven't
that
got my
need to
glasses
go
on
to the
today.
mainland. James was horrified. But sir, he protested, I'm supposed to be taking the express in the morning, and I can't do that if I've been busy all night pulling the mail train. I'm sure Emily wouldn't mind taking the express in your place, James.
I missed
Sir
this
Topham
last
Hatt.
time. We were too busy talking
Now
about
the
glasses.
decision is final, so I'll hear no more about it.
James has
And
been
Sir
had
Topham
there.
Hatt turned and
He's
walked
been
away.
fucked. Emily's going to take the express, and James is going to take the mail train in the middle of the night. See, if that was me, I wouldn't be so calm about it. He's basically been asked to swap shifts.
Later that night,
At
James
the last
and Percy
minute.
had collected their mail vans and were waiting for them to be loaded at Knapford Station.
And he doesn't seem very pissed off about it,
Percy
to be
was
honest.
trying to explain to James what he had to do, but James was taking no notice. James,
Honestly,
you
Sir
must
Topham Hatt
remember
does
to
appear to
collect
be
all
really
the
close.
bags
If he
of
stood that
mail
close
at
to me
each
in
station,
person, that would be a little too
explained
close.
Percy.
Yeah, he's maybe
Sometimes the mail
he
will
just
arrive
doesn't
by
have
road,
a great sense
so
of
you
personal
have to be
space.
patient
You know,
and wait for the van to arrive and be loaded into your train.
I mean, he
before
likes
you
trains,
leave.
so
But James was too busy thinking about getting back to his shed and waking up to pull the morning express. Just then,
okay, off
the
we go.
guard's whistle blew, and the two engines set off. Good luck, James.
Maxwell on YouTube
said
says, "Are you a
Percy.
Gothic girl?" Presumably mean
I'll
Gothic.
manage fine, thank you,
No.
James grumbled. Silly Percy,
No, I am
thinking
not.
I can't manage a few bags of mail. It can't be that difficult.
Come on, James. Let's try again. Okay, that is a lot better though. So, it turns out it was because of the frame rate. All I had to do was turn the frame rate down and no more camera lag. We're fine. Thank you for suggesting that, STFC, because I wouldn't have thought of it. Like I say, I did change the frame rate in the last stream, but it must have reset it to the default when I updated the game. And yeah, the default is 61 for whatever reason. That doesn't seem right. Sorry, everyone who drinks Monster is in my head, says Maxwell. I mean, I genuinely don't get where that comes from. I genuinely don't get why there's this stereotype of, you know, goths drinking Monster. I mean, I guess a lot of goths do like Monster, but that doesn't mean that everyone who drinks Monster is a goth. And there's no correlation between the two, right? Like it's just a coincidence that a lot of goths like Monster, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of goths like a nice cup of tea as well. You know, and that's fine. Drink what you want to drink, girls. Has anyone looked into whether Monster turns people into goths, says Kraken? Honestly, it might turn people trans. there is a bit of a running joke in the trans community as well, that trans people drink Monster. So maybe, I don't know. I knew I didn't drink enough of it, says Kraken. Get ready for an ABBA tribute tonight. Nice one, Pete. Hope you have fun with that. Love ABBA. All of my trans friends drink Monster like it's water, says Max. I mean, yeah, to be fair, I'm not beating the trans people being addicted to Monster allegations, really, am I? Although my brother-in-law also drinks a lot of Monster, and I could tell you with absolute certainty he's not trans or a goth. Some people just like it, and some people are trans and also like it. It's just a coincidence, honestly. I'm wearing sleeves for days. Nice one, P. I hope you have a great time. Okay, we're going to start slowing down now, because I don't want to overshoot the platform again. Causation or correlation, says Kraken. Exactly. It's there's a correlation. Correlation doesn't mean causation. That's the phrase, right? Here we go. We're not going to overshoot this time. I'm going with my colleague's daughter. She called me her Pookie-in-law. Aw, that's so cute. Sounds like a fun ant. It does. It does.
Right. Let's get all this mail loaded into the vans. Then we can be on our way.
Yes, let's get all 2 bags of mail. We got 2 entire mail wagons here, and we're going to put in 2 bags. 2 small bags of mail, that's it.
That's all the mail from this station. Let's get going.
How does the Northwestern Railway stay in business?
The sooner I can get back to my shed.
Like, how does this railway turn a profit, is what I want to know. You're going to need a... what a typo, Kraken. You're going to need a bugger train. Yes, we might need a bigger train for all of those mailbags. You're not fooling anyone. I know they're fake, says Maxwell. You mean my boobs? Yes, they are. They are not real. They don't exist. They're a figment of your imagination. An optical illusion. A mirage. So I think after this we've only got one more scenario, and then we've finished the game basically. And I'm going to go around and get the collectibles as well. But yeah, we have very nearly finished all of the missions, which is good. I've really enjoyed it. It's such a good game. We haven't really talked much about the game in today's stream, but I love it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had such an amazing time with this game. I can't wait to play more of it. As soon as DLC comes out, I will be playing the DLC as well. But it's been such an incredible time. So much fun. So many viewers as well. I've been surprised by how many people have actually been interested enough to watch me play a Thomas the Tank Engine game. Right? It's been really incredible. Have I missed Bertie? Says Kraken Wakes. You have, Bertie. Yes, Kraken. Sorry, we raced Bertie in the first stream. Okay, here we are, Wellsworth. Not going to overshoot this time. Oh, there is some sparks. Are they new? Because I don't remember seeing those in the last stream. That's pretty cool if they're like a new addition. Okay, we got two more mailbags
the
for
station
us.
master is waiting for us. Hello, James, said the station master.
You see him?
Some of the mail arriving by road has been delayed, so you'll need to wait for it to arrive. In the meantime, here is the rest of the mail for you. Bother, muttered James. This is sure to make me late now.
Oh, 5 bags here. Whoa, okay, maybe we do need a bigger train. Whoa, we need a few more mail coaches.
Come on, driver. We
Oh, we
can't
found a whistle.
afford to be late.
I did not notice that. Drive away without waiting for the rest of the mail to arrive. You don't want to be late.
Wait, James, wait!
Okay.
Called the station master.
Okay. Right. I'm sure Topham Hat's going to be very
James
happy with
didn't
us.
stop. He was determined not to be late and wanted to prove he was better than Percy.
Yeah, the Fat Controller's going to love that we just didn't pick up the mail because we wanted to get there faster. Can't wait to see the look on his face. Although we won't actually see the look on his face because it'll be really out of focus. Okay, up Gordon's Hill. Avid correspondents near that station. Yeah, very... They're big letter writers in Wellsworth, you know. So much better now that we fixed the lag issue. I'm so sorry that the first scenario was just completely lagged to fuck, but at least now you can see the game and the camera smoothly, so... Okay, down we go. Brakes. Oh, he's cross. Why is he cross now? How did you fix the lag? It's butter smooth now. I turned the frame rate down. For some reason the frame rate was on 61. But I normally play all of my games in 30, so I turned it down to 30. Hopefully the same for Resident Evil. Unfortunately, I already tried setting the frame rate to 30 in Resident Evil. It didn't fix it. Resident Evil's a different problem, a different kettle of fish. I don't think it's fixable. But for this, all I had to do was cap the frame rate, because for some reason the default frame rate is 61.
As James arrived at Marin Station, the station master ran up to him looking rather upset. "James," he said, "I've had a phone call from the station master at Wellsworth.
He's
and
also
he tells
Scottish.
me that you didn't wait for the mail to arrive by road."
That's funny, that, isn't it? Is
James
that his brother?
felt foolish. "Now," continued the station master, "we have arranged for the mail to be brought here. So please, can you wait for it to arrive? It's vital that this important mail reaches its destination on time."
Okay, fine, I'll wait.
This time, James listened carefully, and suddenly an idea came to him. "If I deliver all the important mail," he thought, "then I'm sure that Sir Topham Hatt will say I'm really
wow.
useful.
What a
Maybe
plan,
even more
James.
useful than
Do what
Percy."
you've been fucking told.
"Don't worry, sir," said James to the station master. "I promise I'll wait for
If
the
I
mail
do
to
what
arrive
Sir Topham Hatt
and make
asks me
sure
to
it
do,
gets to the
he'll be
mainland
happy."
in time."
Big brain there, James. Big brain.
"That's a good engine," smiled the station master. "The mail won't be long now, so you'll soon be on your way again." So James waited for the mail to arrive.
Here it is.
He didn't have to wait long. He heard
I'm
a
not
car
being
horn
funny.
coming from nearby, and then watched as a red post van pulled into the station car park.
I'm not being funny, but you could fit all of the mail from our train onto that van. You quite literally could fit all of the mail that we've collected tonight onto this mail van, onto this post van. Look at it. Why do we even need James at all? Why do we even need a mail train when there's so little mail that it could all fit onto that van? And if that van's driven all the way here, why can't the van just drive the rest of the way and deliver it? 2 more bags. 2 more bags. So in total, this train is carrying 9 bags of mail. That's it.
Soon the important mail was loaded, and James puffed quickly away. He was determined to make up for lost time, but was even more determined to prove that he could be as patient as Percy.
Stop at Kronk. Okay. I have a problem with Kronk. I'm a big Railway series fan, and I respect Wilbur Awdry immensely. So much detail and so much lore put into this franchise. And then there's a town called Kronk. It just doesn't fit. The name just doesn't fit with any of the other place names on Sodor. You got Elsbridge, you got Tidmouth, you got Knapford, you got Crosby, Wellsworth, Marin, Kronk. What is Kronk? It just doesn't sound like a real place. And all of the other places in this sound real. Like, all of his other names sound real. It's like the only place on the island of Sodor that I think doesn't have a believable name. Oh shit, we're gonna overshoot again, aren't we? Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Slow, slow, slow. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Come on, James. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, stop, stop. Ooh. Okay, we made it. Just. But we made it. Why are the mailbags on the other platform? I'm going to use the footbridge. I'm going to be sensible. There's a city called Bath, so it shouldn't be too out of the ordinary. It's just the K, I think. It's just the fact that it ends in a K. It just doesn't seem right. Okay, off we go. Max on YouTube says, do you ever stop yapping about games? It's a game, for fuck's sake. Okay. Breaking news. Streamer talks about the game that they're playing. No. Surely not. This bitch is playing a game and talking about the game whilst playing it? What a concept. I hope that same van brought those mailbags too. Yeah, we're just being followed around all night by a van that's got all of those bags in it. We're just taking bags off the van and onto the train. There's literally no reason for James to be here right now. Wait, you're playing a game? Since when? Says Max. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Me playing a video game. Never thought I'd see the day. And actually, on the subject of games, tomorrow's Subnautica stream is going to be my 50th stream this year. Which is pretty cool. 50 streams so far this year. Wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, I lost count of how many mailbags we've collected now. It's got to be like 15 or something. Next week's stream, Saul sits still and doesn't speak. Honestly, yeah, clearly that's what people want to see. You know, people just want to see me just sit in silence for 3 hours. No game, no commentary. I'll just sit here for 3 hours and do nothing. Feels like Jingle Jam was just like last week. It does, P, honestly. And I loved Jingle Jam. So excited to do that again this year as well. And hopefully it's going to be so much bigger and better. Like I was saying the other day, I know it's still early yet, and it's a long way off, so I've not really had time to plan it. But I really want to stream for 6 hours on every day of the jam. That's going to be 14 6-hour streams back to back, 14 days in a row. But I really want to try it. I really want to try it. I had so much fun with it last year. And think how much money we could raise, you know, hopefully with that amount of streaming in such a short time, I really hope we can raise more this year. I'm so grateful for the £130 that we raised last year. That was absolutely amazing. But I know we can do even better. You know, I know we can get more than that this year if we put our minds to it. And it's going to be so exciting as well. I'm going to try and do some different stuff as well, because last year I just played the games that I was already playing. You know, I just carried on with my regular series, Minecraft, Oddworld Soulstorm, Farming Sim. But this year, I want to do some other stuff as well. I'm going to play some of the games from the collection this year. And, you know, some other one-off streams. We might do a just chatting stream, or a Lego building stream, or a Q&A stream, you know. But yeah, I'm going to try and stream for every single day of the Jingle Jam this year. and I'm going to stream for 6 hours on every single day of the jam, which is going to be really, really draining, but so worth it, you know, so worth it for so many great charities. I've not heard of Jingle Jam, but looking forward to it. I think you'll enjoy it, Kraken. It's basically, it's an annual charity fundraising event. You can do anything for it, but most people do live streams. Like, you can make videos, you can do sponsored walks, that kind of thing. But it started off as a streaming event, and most people do live streams for it. But basically, you just try and stream as much as you can in a 2-week period. And people can donate money during your streams that goes to charities. Last year there was the Trevor Project, Wallace and Gromit's Grand Appeal, War Child, Worldwide Fund, Autistica, a few other ones. I can't remember exactly all of them, but there were 8 really great charities last year, and this year's selection will be really great as well. But yeah, it's a really great event. Anyone can fundraise for it. You know, like I say, you can do live streams, you can make videos, you can do whatever you want for it. But it's all raising money for some really, really good causes. You know, and like I say, last year we raised £138 in our event, which I was so proud of. So proud of everyone who donated to that. Thank you so much, everyone, if you were around for last year's Jingle Jam. And yeah, this year's, we're going bigger and better. This year we're going to try and raise £1,000. £1,000. 10 times more than we raised last year. Can we do it? Probably not, but, you know, aim high. Aim high, hit low. If we get half of that, it'll still be absolutely amazing, right? Oh, I found another whistle. Impressive amount, says Kraken. Thank you, Kraken. And that was while we were shadow banned on TikTok as well. And obviously my purple was very small then too. I didn't have a big audience on purple back then. So it's impressive that we've managed to raise that much under those circumstances, you know. Like I say, this year, hopefully we can raise so much more this year because I'm not shadow banned anymore. Fingers crossed. And I'm an affiliate now on Purple, so we get a lot more viewers over there as well. I really do think that this year we can afford to be way more ambitious. I'm so excited for it. I know it's still like 6 months away, 9 months away, but I'm really, really excited for it. It's going to be great. And I think how much money... Sorry, I just want to check. How much money did Jingle Jam raise in total last year? Let me check out. I know I put it on the Discord. Let's see. Okay, 3.2 million. That's how much money was raised by Jingle Jam last year. £3.2 million. That's from every single streamer who was raising money. Obviously, the Yogscast made most of that because it's their, you know, they started it. It's their event, essentially. But yeah, last year, 3.2 million. And, you know, we might have only contributed to £138 of that, but that's still a contribution, you know, and it was absolutely incredible to be a part of it. Okay, come on, James, come on. 1.6 miles to Crovan's Gate. You are a part no matter the amount, says Crackenweight. Exactly. That's what I always say when it comes to like charity and stuff like that. Every single penny counts. Like literally every single penny does count. Even if you can only donate 50p, if 100 people donate 50p, that's 25 quid, right? If 1,000 people donate 50p, that's... Wait, no. My maths is wrong. If 100 people donate 50p, that's 50 quid. If 1,000 people donate 50p, that's 500 quid. So literally every single penny contributes to charity, right? Okay, we are going to miss Crovan's Gate, unfortunately, because I've been distracted again. But yeah, every penny counts, every penny helps, and I'm so glad that we managed to raise as much as we did last year. But I do still think that we can go even bigger and better next year, for sure. Who's your favourite character from Thomas? I like Boko. I'm a Boko fan. And unfortunately, he's a difficult character to have as a favourite because he very rarely appears. Like, he only appeared in the first 2 series of the TV show, and then he just died.
One more stop
He's
to
gone
make.
forever.
Then we are finished for the night.
But I like Boko. I almost got a chance to see him yesterday because the real-life D5702, which is the only preserved Class 28, is at the East Lancashire Railway. So a part of me was hoping that I might actually get a glimpse of the real Boko yesterday, but unfortunately I didn't. Unfortunately, he wasn't out and about. He was probably in the shed. But yeah, the East Lancashire Railway, where I went yesterday for the Steam Gala, they have the only Class 28 locomotive in preservation. So they technically have the real Boko. Is there a Thomas Deltic? There was never a Deltic in Thomas, believe it or not. There's been a few bigger diesels in the series, but there has never been a Deltic, which I think is a shame. There should, because I think, right, you know, I think personally that you could do a really great story with Gordon and a Deltic, because they were both built in Doncaster. Gordon is an A1 Pacific Gresley, built in Doncaster. The Deltics were also built in Doncaster, and the Deltics replaced the A1s on mainline services from London to Edinburgh. I think you could have done a really good railway series story about a Deltic coming to the Island of Sodor and, you know, threatening to replace Gordon and take over his work. It's quite strange to me that there never was a Deltic in the railway series, actually, because it feels like such a perfect opportunity for a story, you know? Hello, Forrest, how are you doing? How's everyone doing on purple, by the way? It's gone a little bit quiet in the chat. We're all still good? Oh! Okay, well that was unfortunate. Whoops. I didn't realise we were turning off there. We were going way too fast into that junction. Still here, just lurking. No worries, SDFC. Excuse me. Did you know the class only had... This class only had problems in their engines, and it's 5705, and there's a Deltic from Chuggington called Brewster. Yes, Brewster from Chuggington is based on a Deltic, but he only has one cab. It's weird, because Chuggington... I'm not really a Chuggington fan. It's after my time, you know, but a lot of the characters on Chuggington are, like, very loosely based on real engines. In Thomas and Friends, they're a lot more faithful. Like, James is I think he's a Furness Railway engine. But, like, Gordon is an A3, Henry's a Black 5, Thomas is an E2. They're based on real engines, and they're quite accurate as well. With Chuggington, it's kind of more like, you know, Brewster is loosely inspired by a Deltic, but doesn't really resemble one all that much. You know what I mean? Don't condone betting, but I treated myself to a nice meal as I won £700 at the Grand National. Well done, Forrest. Congratulations. Treat yourself. What is that Maxwell guy waffling about? Oh yeah, I forgot that you can see the YouTube chat on stream now. Oh, God knows. What? No fucking way. I've just had my live access removed on TikTok. TikTok has just force-ended my stream, and I've had my live access revoked until the 14th. Because of regulated goods and services. What the fuck is that? No, I'm submitting an appeal straight away. No fucking way. That's a 3-day ban from streaming. A 3-day ban from streaming on TikTok for regulated goods and services. What is that? TikTok is a place to share and learn about all kinds of products and services, but some may come with higher risks like addiction, danger, or... Are you joking? Are you joking? So because Forrest told me that they won £700 at the Grand National, and I said, congratulations, I had my live access removed. That's what's just happened. I've had my live access on TikTok revoked for 3 days because I congratulated someone for winning money on a bet. Fuck TikTok so fucking much. What the fuck? No, I'm submitting an appeal. I am submitting an appeal. That is such bollocks. I'm sorry, it's Forrest. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Forrest. That's so fucking bullshit. That should absolutely not be a ban-worthy offence. Just saying congratulations to someone winning a bet. I have submitted an appeal. If it doesn't go through, I'm not going to be able to stream on TikTok again until the 14th, which will be SnowRunner on Tuesday. So, to be fair, we're only going to miss the rest of today's stream and tomorrow's stream. But that's such bullshit. I've submitted an appeal. Hopefully it goes through. If it doesn't, I'll still stream on TikTok. I'll still stream on YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, wow. That's why I said I don't condone it before. I didn't want to get anyone in trouble. The thing is, though, I've joked about gambling on stream before. Like, when we played Resident Evil, I joked about playing roulette. if you remember, if you watched the first episode of my Resident Evil playthrough, we literally joked about gambling and playing roulette. So I don't understand how me saying congratulations to someone for winning a bet. Someone must have reported you. It must be a report. It must be... Someone must have reported it. That's so wild, though. I know I keep saying it, but TikTok pisses me off so fucking much. I love everyone who watches on TikTok. I appreciate my TikTok audience so much. But TikTok as a platform, it's so fucking shit. It's so bad. It's so fucking appallingly shit. When do you get unbanned? If my appeal doesn't go through, 3 days. 3 fucking days. This is why I keep asking people to follow me on YouTube and Twitch. This is why I keep saying to people, you know, please don't watch my streams on TikTok. Please watch on YouTube or Twitch instead. Thanks for following, Forrest. But... I just hate TikTok so much. I really genuinely hate TikTok with a passion at this point. Part of me wishes that I'd just never created an account on TikTok in the first place. I could have had a YouTube channel. You know, 2 years ago, I could have started a YouTube channel instead. But I decided to do TikTok. And I've regretted it every fucking day since. Well, there's not much we can do right now. I will just quickly put a message on the Discord server for anyone who was watching the TikTok stream. And hopefully we'll get some people over here. Okay, just putting a message in the Discord server now to let people know. There we go. Message is in the Discord server now. Hopefully a couple of people will see it and move over. I mean, I guess all we can do is continue, you know? I don't think there's really much we can do. Hopefully the appeal will go through, but... That is just such a stupid reason to remove my access for 3 days. And I'm guessing that that's going to count as a strike on my account as well. So that fucking appeal better go through. I'm just going to check my phone because I wonder if... it'll probably update me on my phone, like, whatever the update is from the appeal. I feel bad now. Is there anything I can do? It's not your fault, Forrest. It's not your fault. 1 second. We've reviewed your appeal and restored your live access. Hold on, hold on. Okay, I think I'm going to need to restart Live Studio. They have accepted my appeal. Okay, that was actually quicker than I thought it would be. Right. I'm relaunching TikTok Live Studio now. Okay, just put in another message in the Discord server to let people know that it was a false alarm. Okay. So, I think it's probably best if we just never talk about gambling again, just in case. Like, not even to say congratulations, right? I'm relaunching the TikTok stream now, and we'll just never mention gambling again, just in case. Here we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. Hello, TikTok. Sorry about that. What an ordeal this has been, eh? What a day this has been. I mean, at least it was quick. You know, at least it did get sorted quite quickly, so... I think that's the first time that TikTok has ever actually done something positive when I've, you know, reported abuse. But since you're on purple now, Forest, you might as well stay, you know? Oh, I've just closed the chat again. I keep doing that. Max says, everyone on TikTok, YouTube, come over to purple. It's a great place. And on the side of purple. Honestly, I agree. I agree. So if you're watching on TikTok right now, I just want to point out that I just had my live access revoked for 3 days because someone falsely reported me. I managed to appeal it, so we can stream again, but I just want to put that out there. I just got my live access revoked for 3 days because of a false report. So if you're watching on TikTok right now, please, please, please... consider watching the stream here instead. That's upside down. Watch the stream here instead. Please, please, please. Because you never know what's going to happen with TikTok. This time next week, I could be, like, permanently fucking banned. Who knows? Who knows when someone's just going to decide to report me on a whim and then I get an account strike and I can't stream for 3 days, right? So if you're watching on TikTok right now, please don't. Watch the stream here instead. There we go. I've said my piece. Let's move on. How are you today? I'm good, George. You know, with that little incident accepted, I'm good. Didn't know you were a Thomas fan, says George. I am a huge Thomas fan. Huge Thomas fan. Today's been eventful. Yeah, to be fair, one thing you can't say about today's stream is that it's been boring. So much has happened. We've had some train talk, some political commentary. We went on a big side tangent about glasses. I showed you some of my trains. And then that happened. What else could possibly happen, says Max. I don't know, power cut? You never know. We actually did... right, I actually do get a lot of power cuts in my neighbourhoods. There's an electric box, like a couple of streets over, that just fucking breaks all of the time. And instead of putting in a new box, they just come in and, like, reconnect the wires. It literally, like, once a month, we just have a complete power cut. The whole street has a power cut. And they won't just fucking replace the box. So, honestly, I'm amazed that it hasn't happened on stream yet. Today could be the day. The Great Train Rant, says Return of the King. Yeah, that was quite a tangent, wasn't it? Oh, we talked about crisps as well. We talked about crisp sandwiches and prawn cocktail and why it's the best flavour of crisp. But mostly we've played Thomas. Mostly we've played Wonders of Sodor. Is there a way of changing a Twitch username? Yes, I think you can change every 60 days. So if you, as long as you chose that name more than 60 days ago, you should be able to change it. It's good that you got the second account on TikTok just in case it happens again for like a month or something. That's true. I mean, I guess in an absolute emergency, I don't really want to do it, but in an absolute emergency, I could go back to the old TikTok account. Currently, I've got it set to private, but it is there, like, in the extreme circumstance that it's necessary. But hopefully it won't be. I'll give it a rest, Maxwell. Okay, there we go. Hopefully there'll be no more messages from Maxwell. It was starting to get a bit spammy. I did a watch-along of the movie Return of Kong. Fair enough. Are you a King Kong fan? I never really got into King Kong, to be honest. It's never really been a franchise I've been that into. I'm usually having to fight bots over here. YouTube's kind of crazy. The thing about YouTube is it'll be quiet for months and months and months, and then one day someone will just turn up and start spamming. It doesn't happen very often, but yeah, it from time to time. It is 10 past 7, by the way. We've still got one more scenario to do. I was really hoping we'd finish by 8, but we've still got one more scenario to do and some collectibles to get. If that didn't happen, you know, we'd be fine, but it did, so... Still, no use crying over spilt milk. What's done is done. Hey, Percy, wait, how? No, how is Percy here? That doesn't make any logical sense, because we saw him go up the Knackford... we saw him go up the Farquhar branch earlier. Like, you literally can't be here right now, Percy. What are you doing? How?
James arrived at Vickerstown Station and was feeling pleased with himself. He had collected all the
How
mail
did you get
and
here?
tried
What
his
is
best
he
to
doing
make up
here?
for lost time. Percy was
How?
already there waiting for him.
Where did you come from?
And so was Sir Topham Hatt.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Sorry, I haven't got my
James
contacts
was
in.
worried what he would say about him not being patient and waiting for the mail. Ah, there you are, James, said Sir Topham Hatt. I've heard from several of the station masters that you've done a good night's work, Sir Topham Hatt smiled. I've also heard that there was a small incident at Wellsworth Station.
Yeah. There was a small
But you
incident
put
at Crovan's
things right
Gate as well.
and
I
have
got
made
my
sure
live
that
access
all the
room.
mail arrived on time. You have once again proved to me that you are a really useful engine. And a first-class one at that.
Hey, that's the name of the stream.
Well done, James.
Really useful engine.
puffed
That's
Percy
me.
excitedly.
I'm really useful.
James felt so proud, he thought his boiler would burst.
Hey, okay, second scenario done. We have one more scenario, and then we have officially 100% of the game. And it's Percy's shunting challenge at Farquhar. So let's just dive straight on into it. I really do want to try and get this finished before 8. So we'll do this, and then we'll do the collectibles.
Welcome to the shunting challenge.
Thank you.
As you can see, these trucks are all out of order and need to be put back into their proper places.
Mm-hmm.
You should try to get the truck shunted in as few moves as possible to increase your score.
Now this is funny because actually there's no score. The points that you earn in the shunting mode aren't actually used for anything, because you don't have a profile in this. It's not like Train Sim World where every scenario you do earns you points. That doesn't happen in this game. You get points, but then at the end of the scenario it doesn't count. So actually doing it in as few moves as possible changes nothing, which I think is a bit of a shame. I do get the sense that certain aspects of this game are unfinished, for want of a better words. Okay, we're starting with number 8 this time. I'm going to start with the back of the train, and then work our way forwards. Hey, says Ted, your piano skills are phenomenal, and today I was in Manchester playing Thomas the Tank Engine. Nice one, Ted. Thank you very much. I was also in Manchester yesterday. Only passing through. I went to the East Lancashire Railway for their Legends of Steam Gala. Amazing time. Amazing time. There's going to be loads of stuff on Instagram about it. So if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram. I post all of my train related stuff over there. But yeah, East Lancashire Railway yesterday, Legends of Steam Gala, they had Tornado there, they had City of Wells and Manston, the bullied Pacifics. Great day. And I even got a little train, look, I got this little N-gauge 4MT tank engine whilst I was there. A little something for my layout. It was all around just a pretty wonderful time. So it was you I saw yesterday at the gala. Were you there, Ted? Were you there? No way. If so, I might have seen you, but not known it was you. If I bumped into you, then hope you had a great time, as I did. Hi, Saul, how are you? I'm very good, thank you, Ash. How are you doing? That's the thing, you never know who you're going to bump into when you go to, like, an open day at a Steam Gala or something like that. I follow a lot of other train-focused creators on Instagram, and I've seen a lot of videos posted from yesterday's Steam Gala that I'm in. Like, someone posted a video of Manston and City of Wells running past, and you can see my arm just sticking out of the window. It's always funny going to public events like that, and then you just see yourself in the background of other people's videos. I'm fine, not good, just fine. I'm sorry to hear that, Ash, but, well, I'm glad to hear that you're fine. Okay, stop. Ooh, I think we can get away with that. I think there's enough space there for us to run around. Okay, so where's number 7? And also, how are we going to get number 7 onto the end? It might be easier if we put 7 onto this end, actually. Oh, wait, I didn't change the points. Ooh. Can we change the points now? I feel like we're a bit too close. This might cause a derailment, but I'm going to try it. Who taught you piano? I'm completely self-taught piano. I've been playing for about more than 10 years. 12 years, maybe? Oh, wait. Points. Those points aren't set. Nearly. Straight ahead, I think. I'm also self-taught. Nice one, Ted. Nice one. I'm sure you've seen my cover of the Thomas theme, but if you haven't, I've also done the main theme from Thomas and Friends on TikTok. You can find it. Taught myself in 1998 at 5 years old. Wow. Congrats, Ted. Congrats. Yeah, I think I was in my teens. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was in my teens when I started playing. When I was at school, I played violin, and I really enjoyed it. But when I started secondary school, I didn't continue it, and it is something I've always regretted. Honestly, I think I would have liked to continue playing violin. But I started piano instead, and I was hooked on it from the start. I absolutely love the piano. I think it's such a versatile instrument. You know, you can play so much with it. You can essentially do any genre of music with it, and it just sounds good, right? Hi, Ali on YouTube. How you doing? So yeah, I'm definitely... I'm glad that I went for piano. I would still like to relearn violin at some point, because, like I say, it was the first instrument that I played, and I did really enjoy playing it. But I'm firmly in the piano camp now. I love my piano. You have college on Monday, unlucky, says Fred. I am 27 and a university graduate, Fred. I have a degree in computer science. I'm not at college. I also play saxophone. Nice one, Ted. Now there's a cool instrument. I just wish that I could play any instrument, you know, I wish that I could just pick up any instrument and just be able to play it. That'd be so cool. One instrument that I've always wanted to play is the bassoon. I don't know, I just think there's something really cool about the bassoon. It's like one of the biggest, you know, wind instruments there is. And I think they sound really cool. Guitar would be a good one as well, because that's another very versatile instrument, you know, you can do a lot with a guitar. Where did you go to uni, says Lewis? Bath Spa. I graduated in 2020. Bassoon's an interesting choice. I love deep instruments, you know, I love like the lower range of instruments, stuff like double bass and stuff like that. But yeah, I think, like I say, piano, just for its versatility, piano is a very good choice. And I love my piano. It's not only something that I play because I want to, you know, sound good and make good music. It's also something that I do just to relieve stress, you know, when I'm bored or when I'm, you know, a little bit tired out, I'm a little bit frustrated. I like to just sit down at the piano and just play for a bit. It's so relaxing and so freeing, you know. It's just such a fantastic instrument, such an amazing instrument. You look so young, your skin's so good. Thank you, Fred, thank you. I do take good care of my skin. More than I used to. Can you play Runaway on the piano? You mean the Runaway theme from Thomas and Friends? I can certainly give it a go. It's not one that I currently know, but I have quite a lot of Thomas themes that I want to do. So unfortunately, I'm not like taking requests at the minute. But there are a lot of Thomas themes that I do want to eventually do. The song "Runaway" by Kanye, I've never heard it, but probably not my type of music, to be honest. Most of the music that I play is from video games and TV shows, to be quite honest. Doctor Who, Sonic the Hedgehog, Thomas and Friends. That's my repertoire, you know. Video game music is really my repertoire. Where am I going right now? I'm supposed to be getting wagon number 6, which is round the other side. Have you done Red Dwarf yet? Says Draydog. I haven't, but I do know it. I've never recorded a cover of it, but I do know the Red Dwarf theme. And I know the season 1 and 2 opening theme as well, which I prefer to the main theme, honestly. I love that slow drawing out of the camera. You know, so epic. It's like 2001: A Space Odyssey. I really miss that intro from the original series. I'm glad they brought it back, like as musical stings for like series 10, 11, and 12. You occasionally hear that theme played. Okay. We do need to get number 5 out, but number 6 should take the priority, really, right? Actually, no, I've got an idea. Love Red Dwarf, me too, Forrest. Big Red Dwarf fan. Probably my favourite sitcom. You know, as a big sci-fi fan, there isn't a great deal of choice when it comes to sci-fi sitcoms, and most of them are quite bad, I have to say. I think Red Dwarf is the perfect sci-fi sitcom. I really do. Big Red Dwarf fan. My dad got me into Red Dwarf. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Everyone's dead, Dave, says Forrest. Are you trying to tell me that everyone's dead? If the US didn't give up with their version of Red Dwarf, do you think it would have been as popular? No. I genuinely don't. The thing with American remakes of British sitcoms is they almost never work. There are 2 examples that I can think of, 2 examples of American remakes that have actually been successful. The Office and Shameless. That's it. Those are the only 2 successful American remakes ever. And that's not for lack of trying, you know. They have tried to remake everything. Every single British sitcom they have tried to remake. Fawlty Towers, Porridge, Dad's Army, Only Fools and Horses. They tried to remake Only Fools and Horses. It never works. Gavin and Stacey they tried to remake. The In-Betweeners, Ghosts. The Ghosts remake it's crap. It's just crap. I'm sorry, but it really is. And the thing is, I don't hate American comedy. I don't hate American sitcoms. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You know, I love Parks and Rec. I love Frasier, a bit of an older one. Big Frasier fan here. I used to watch Frasier every single morning on Channel 4 before school. I love... America does good comedy. So they should stick to doing their own comedy. I just don't get why I don't understand the need to keep trying to remake British shows when they have their own shows that are good, you know? Like I say, I don't want to shit on American comedy, because I think American comedy is good. I think there are some really great American comedies out there, but they just don't remake British comedy well because it's so different. British comedy has a very different vibe to it to American comedy, right? And it can't really be replicated by an American audience. And the same probably goes the other way, you know. There's a reason that there are no British remakes of American shows, because we know that we wouldn't do it well, so we don't even try. The difference is they try, and they shouldn't. Frasier's back with a few main actors missing, but it's still funny. I've heard mixed things about the Frasier reboot. I've heard it's not bad, but the only character who actually returns is Frasier and Freddy, but obviously played by a different actor. Niles isn't back, Daphne isn't back. Obviously, John Mahoney unfortunately passed away a while back, so his dad isn't in it. It's not really Frasier, you know, it's just a different show with Frasier, and it's like Cheers, you know. It's kind of, the new Frasier is more like Cheers than it is like Frasier, if you know what I mean. I'm not against reboots, but I'm always willing to give them a go. Me too, Dre Dog. I don't mind giving a fair chance to a remake, to a reboot, but I generally don't think they go very well. I you know, in the UK, for example, Still Open All Hours, I just really don't think landed as well as the original. The Porridge remake, that didn't land as well as the original. I think if you've done something good, if you've captured some really, truly amazing comedy, you can't come back 30 years later and replicate it. You just can't do it. And it's another one of those situations where I just kind of feel like, why try? Why try to remake something that was so perfect the first time round? The American In-Betweeners is a tough watch. Oh, yeah. God. That's the thing. Like I say, American comedy's good, but American remakes of British sitcoms aren't good because we have a different style of comedy. I think British sitcoms, British humour is so much more self-deprecating. You know, you watch an American sitcom and the main character is like an underdog. It's someone you root for. It's someone that you want to see succeed. The protagonist of a British sitcom is a complete cunt and everybody hates him, and that's the point, right? It's supposed to be a despised character. Basil Fawlty, you are not supposed to like Basil Fawlty. You're not supposed to sympathise with Basil Fawlty. You're supposed to hate him. And the same is true for so many other British sitcoms. Like, you know, with American comedy, you're supposed to root for the underdog. With British comedy, you're supposed to hate the underdog. That's the difference, and that's why one can't replicate the other, you know. That's why British comedy, that's why an American show, an American remake will never capture the feel of the original. And similarly, a British remake of an American comedy would end up the same way. It just wouldn't work, you know. What do you think of Sodor? I love it. Me too, Guna429. It's a really, really good game. I've really enjoyed it. BBC wanted to reboot Hello Hello, but scrapped it because of sensitive people. I did hear that Hello Hello I did hear that the Allo Allo remake was cancelled because the accents could have been considered offensive. I'll be honest, I don't know a single person that would have actually been offended. I think it's one of those situations where the BBC just played it too safe. You know, it's one of those situations where they kind of said, "Oh, we can't remake this show because people might get offended." I don't think anyone actually would have been. I think they just played it too cautiously, you know. Nobody would have been offended because the point of Allo Allo, the reason that they have those accents is because it's supposed to signify that people are talking in different languages. Like, when the characters speak with a French accent, it's because they're actually speaking French. But they put the accent on so that the audience can understand. And I think that's a really cool concept. I think, you know, you can't have them actually speak French because the audience isn't going to know what they're saying. But if they speak in a French accent and the audience understands that that means they're speaking French, you know, and the same with German, whenever they're speaking in a German accent, it's because in the scene they're actually speaking German. I think that's a really cool concept. Hello, No Name. So yeah, I really don't think that it... I don't think anyone would have actually been upset about it. I think, again, it's one of those situations where they just played it too safe. Like, they didn't want to bring it back just in case people might be offended by it. I don't think anyone actually would have been. Yeah, because like 70% of the audience would know about the show's humor and story. Exactly, exactly. I mean, it's like that Fawlty Towers episode, right? The Germans, you know the episode of Fawlty Towers where Basil Fawlty does an impression of Hitler and puts on a really bad German accent? That's the most popular episode of Fawlty Towers in Germany. They love that episode. That is literally the most popular episode of the show in Germany. Like, nobody's offended by it because Basil Fawlty is a character that you're supposed to hate. You're not supposed to watch that scene and be like, "Oh my god, that's so offensive." You're supposed to watch that scene and be like, "Oh my god, this guy is a fucking idiot," right? Again, it's the self-deprecating humor. It's the self-deprecating nature of it. You're not supposed to... You know, you're supposed to look at Basil Fawlty and think, what an arsehole, right? And you do. That's how you feel when you watch that episode. Thanks for following OL Trains, by the way. Don't mention the war, says Forrest. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it. It's not my favourite episode, by the way, though. My favourite episode of Fawlty Towers is The Psychiatrist. What an episode. If you've not watched Fawlty Towers, watch it. If you have watched Fawlty Towers, let me jog your memory. The Psychiatrist is the episode where a married couple, who are both psychiatrists, they come to stay at the hotel, and Basil's really paranoid because, you know, there was a stigma around psychiatry in the UK at the time. A lot of people, you know, were a little bit afraid of talking to psychiatrists because they, you know, try and get inside your head and stuff like that. So Basil spends the whole episode being really paranoid that the psychiatrist is gonna, like, analyze him, and he just ends up showing himself up so badly. It's such a good episode. It's got to be either that one or The Kipper and the Corpse is also a really, really funny episode. Fawlty Towers mentioned, says Jack. Hey Jack, how you doing? Yes, we're just talking about old classic British sitcoms, funnily enough. Why are you playing Thomas the Tank Engine at your age, says Max? Because I want to, Max. I can play what I want. My favourite episode is The Hotel Inspectors, says Forrest. Another good one. With Bernard Cribbins in it as well. The legend that is Wilfred Mott from Doctor Who. What a great actor. Sadly missed. But yeah, The Hotel Inspectors, Great episode. I love, you know, they spend the whole episode trying to get back at this guy, and it turns out that he's not even the hotel inspector at all. The final scene where the actual inspectors turn up, and he goes up to the reception desk, and he's like, "What can I do for you three gentlemen?" And he just shits himself because he realizes that they're the inspectors. It's just such a good moment. I've been rewatching Bottom recently, says Jack. I love Bottom. Bottom's a good one as well. Rest in peace, Rick Mail. Have you ever seen The Young Ones, Jack? Because if you haven't, you should really watch The Young Ones. That's such a funny show as well. A lot of it is of the time, unfortunately. It is one of those shows that's very, very of the time because there's a lot of political, you know, undertones and stuff like that. And it came out, you know, during the Thatcher era and stuff like that. But a lot of it still holds up as well. It does still hold up. Love The Young Ones. What a great show. Another classic 14-episode show as well. Another one of those... Oh, 12 episodes, sorry. Another one of those short and sweet, 2 seasons, 6 episodes each. Would love to see a modern-day Mrs. Bucket. Oh, I do love Keeping Up Appearances as well. I do love Keeping Up Appearances. Did you know that Keeping Up Appearances is the most popular British export in television? Not Doctor Who. Keeping Up Appearances is the BBC's most popular show worldwide. People love it. Everybody loves it. When Rick's trying to tell Thatcher about the bomb, oh yeah, they've this giant comically oversized bomb lands in their apartment, lands in the flat, and Rick Mail writes a letter to Thatcher threatening to detonate it unless she meets his demands. Oh, that's a good one. Sorry, for any Americans watching right now, I'm sorry that the conversation has gotten very British all of a sudden. Max, if you're still watching over on Purple, I'm sorry you might be feeling a bit left out. Although you might have seen Keeping Up Appearances, because everyone else has. White slimline telephone with automatic redial. Yes, this is not the Chinese restaurant. This is a white slimline telephone with automatic redial. Mind the pothole, Richards. Oh. What another great show. Another great show. Still never tried a Waldorf salad, says Forrest. I have, actually. Right. That episode of Fawlty Towers inspired me to try a Waldorf salad, and it's actually pretty nice. It's actually a pretty good meal. I did it without the celery, because I hate celery. Sorry, celery fans. But yeah, I've tried a Waldorf salad. Apple, grapes, walnuts, and mayonnaise. It's actually really nice. It genuinely... You wouldn't think it'd work, but it does. There's a reason we never saw Mrs. Bucket's son, but I can't remember what it was, says Dre Dog. I think, you know, it was heavily implied that Sheridan was gay. He lived with his roommate Tarquin, and they sequined their own curtains and all that kind of stuff. It was like heavily implied that Sheridan was gay, but Hyacinth didn't know it. And I think Richard knew. I think Richard a couple of times tried to drop hints towards her, like, Sheridan, Sheridan and Tarquin are quite good friends, don't you, Hyacinth? And she was just completely oblivious to it. But that was always quite funny. Just this son who is so obviously gay, but she just is completely blind to it. Richard definitely knew. Yeah, Richard was just trying to let her down gently, because she just didn't get it at all. She just didn't clock it. Ob says, I'm from Thailand, like your stream Saul. Greetings from Thailand, currently 2:43. How are you doing, Ob? Good to hear from you. Is that 2:43 a.m.? If so, thank you for joining so early in the morning. I'm actually enjoying the conversation, don't understand anything, but I'm here for it. Glad to hear it, Max. Glad to hear it. Are you a fan of British comedy, Max? Because if you are, do I have a list of recommendations for you? Which is every British comedy ever. Back in those days, you had to keep being gay hush. Yeah, it was still kind of, you know... I mean, it was the 90s, so it was a bit more... You know, you could be a bit more open about it. But I think a lot of comedy back then did still rely on, you know, dropping the hints and never actually saying it. You know what I mean? What time are you coming off tonight? It should be 8 o'clock, but I think we're going to have to go a bit later. It depends how long it takes to finish this shunting challenge. I did want to get the collectibles as well, but I don't think we're going to have time for that now. But if I can finish this shunting challenge, I'll be happy. I once found my hamster puppet from the young ones being sold on eBay by a collector. Special Patrol Group? What a stupid name for a hamster. Go ahead, send me a list. I'm so down, says Max. Well, which British sitcoms have you watched, Max? Just out of interest. Let me know which ones you've already watched. And I'll make some recommendations based on those. Like I was saying earlier, my absolute favourites, I think... Gotta be Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is up there. I think if I had to pick a top 3... My top 3 British sitcoms of all time... I would personally... And this is a very subjective list, but I would personally go Red Dwarf, number 1. League of Gentlemen, second. And Porridge, third. Those would be my top 3. Maybe switch Porridge and League of Gentlemen around, but definitely those would be the top 3. Not The Office. No, actually, not The Office. The Office is good. You know, we don't have to talk about the politics of anyone involved in it or anything, but as a show, it is good. But it was never my favourite. It was never really my favourite. There's a Keeping Up Appearances prequel. There is, yeah. There's a prequel called Young Hyacinth. I never saw it. Is it any good? If anyone did see it, you know, was it any good? I'll send you what I've seen. Gonna leave you on my computer though, so there's that. Have a great stream. Okay, we'll see you later. We'll see you later, Max. Yeah, if you DM me a list on Discord, and I'll give you some recommendations. Oh, wait. Are these points set? Yes, they are. Have you seen the 2 Ronnies? I have, yes. I do like the 2 Ronnies. It's sketch comedy, so I'm not... I don't hate sketch comedy, but I'm not as big a fan of sketch comedy as a sitcom, you know? I like something that's a bit more established, that has its own little universe, you know? Whereas sketch comedy, it tends to be, you know, these characters only appear once and they'll never appear again. That's not to say that there aren't some funny sketches, you know? It's the same with something like Monty Python. I'd like Monty Python's Flying Circus, but I prefer something like Life of Brian or The Holy Grail, because they actually tell a story. And obviously Monty Python, another one that I highly recommend. Haven't watched Keeping Up Appearances. I forget which one's Daisy and which one's Rose. Daisy is the larger one. Rose is the... what's the word? The more flirtatious one. I think that's as kindly as I can phrase that. The promiscuous one. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And Violet's the one with swimming pool, sauna, and room for a pony. And the Mercedes, yes. Not forgetting the Mercedes. Although I think Violet only actually appears in the show in like 2 episodes. She does appear. There are a couple of instances where she actually appears. But she's another one of those characters who's almost always just mentioned, you know, whenever Hyacinth wants to show off. You know my sister Violet, you know, the one with a sauna, Mercedes, pool, and room for a pony. Okay, I'm gonna make a decision now. We're not gonna do the collectibles, because we're not gonna have enough time. Are we finishing at 8? We are gonna finish this scenario, so we might run over by 10 minutes or so. I was hoping we'd go around the map and get all the collectibles as well. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have time tonight. But it has been a great stream. What are you playing, says Isaac? This is Thomas and Friends Wonders of Sodor. It's the first ever officially licensed Thomas and Friends train simulator game. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Even if you're a non-Thomas fan, I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I am a Thomas fan. I've always been a huge fan of Thomas the Tank. It's something that I have hidden a lot. Because I think it's one of those things where there's kind of a stigma around being a Thomas fan. You know, people look at you weird when you, as an adult, say that you're a Thomas fan. But I've grown to be a lot more open about it, and you'd be surprised how many adult Thomas fans there are. There's a really great community, really friendly community as well. Every other adult Thomas fan that I've met, they're just really great people. What's the stigma, says Guna? Just you know, just a general attitude that, you know, because it's a kid's show, you know, liking it as an adult is bad. And, you know, like I say, for a long time I was a little bit ashamed to talk about it because of that. But you know, as I've gotten older, and as other things have happened in my life, you know, like being trans, for example, I've learned to care a lot less about what other people think. So I'm a lot more open about my enjoyment of the franchise now. Watching a children's show as an adult is tragic, says Ben. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't care. 5 years ago, if you'd said that to me, I might have been like, oh yeah, actually you're right. I won't talk about it anymore. But now, I don't care. I love Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm a huge Thomas fan. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm not embarrassed by it. And I really don't care what you think, to be honest. So much is nostalgia, says Guna. I think nostalgia is a big part of it, yeah. Obviously it was a big part of my childhood as well. But honestly, it's just a really well-made franchise. Like, not necessarily the CGI show, but the Railway series in particular. You would not believe how much lore this franchise has. Like, there is literally a Thomas and Friends lore book. the Thomas and Friends universe has its own Silmarillion. Literally, there is a Thomas and Friends lore book, and it is super, super detailed. Every single town and village on the island of Sodor has its own history. Every single engine has its own history. It's so meticulously researched and written because it's written by a guy who was a huge fan of trains. And I think a lot of people don't really get how much lore this franchise has. You would not believe how in-depth, you would not believe how deep the Thomas rabbit hole goes, honestly. And it is something that you can appreciate even as an adult. It really is. And, I mean, Wilbur Awdry himself even said so. When he was writing the books, he deliberately wrote the books to be as realistic as possible, because then the kids get enjoyment out of it, because it's a storybook for children, but the adults also get enjoyment out of it because of how accurate it is and how realistic it is to real railways. You know, apart from the trains having faces, everything else is super realistic. Like, the only unrealistic detail is that the trains talk. Everything else is so accurate and so detailed and so grounded in how real-life railways work. It's astonishing. And it's because it was written by a guy who genuinely loved trains. And I think that's amazing. There's Thomas Cannon, says Goonet. There's 3 Thomas Cannons. That's the crazy thing. This franchise has 3 different canons. Because there's the original book series, there's the model series of the TV show, and then there's the CGI series. Most fans consider those to be 3 separate canons. And in all 3 canons, the island has a different history, a different layout, there are different railway lines. Like, not only does Thomas and Friends have its own canon, it has 3 of them. There's an unbelievable amount of lore in this franchise. Why is that? Why I'm stuck on this pole. Okay, Ben, look. I'm sorry that somebody managed to convince you that you're not allowed to like the things that you used to like when you were kids. I really hope that you get past that. I'm guessing that someone, like, shamed you for enjoying a kid's show, and you've really taken it to heart, and now you hate the fact that anyone could possibly enjoy a kid's show. I'm sorry if that's, what you're going through, but whoever told you that you're not allowed to like stuff because it's primarily targeted towards kids, don't listen to them. If something's nostalgic for you, if something was a big part of your childhood, and you still want to enjoy it, go for it. Like, I'm sorry that somebody has managed to get inside your head and convince you otherwise, but you're allowed to still like that stuff. It's fine. You're allowed to still like Thomas the Tank Engine. You're allowed to still like Fireman Sam or Postman Pat. It's okay. And I'd even go so far as to say that as an adult, you'll get a level of enjoyment out of it that you didn't used to get when you were a kid. You might enjoy it more as an adult. You might have a different appreciation for it as an adult. So once again, I'm not trying to say this in a negative way. I'm not trying to, you know, make a dig at you. I'm just saying, you know, if there's a thing from your childhood that you enjoy, please don't let people convince you that you're not allowed to enjoy it anymore just because you're an adult now. You know? And I'm sorry if that happened to you. I'm sorry if you've been made to feel that way. Okay, we're gonna have to move these out of the way. I forgot we left these here, and they are kind of blocking us right now. But to be honest, we can just push them back, right? It's not like The Simpsons where it works on 2 levels, but it is, Ben. I've just explained how it is. I've just explained how the Railway series was written by a guy who was a huge fan of trains. Like, it was deliberately written so that adults could appreciate the accuracy and the detail that he put into the universe around these characters. So it literally does work on 2 levels, because it was written that way. It was written for children and adults to enjoy. Like, I'm sorry, Ben. I know you quite obviously have a chip on your shoulder about this. I don't know who told you at some point in your life that you're not allowed to like things anymore, but you are. It is okay. It's okay for you to still like things. I know exactly how you feel, because I went through the same thing. And I think a lot of people went through the same thing, where you get to this period in your life where suddenly people make you feel like you're not allowed to enjoy certain things anymore. And I listened to them. You know, when I was in my teenage years, I stopped enjoying Thomas the Tank Engine because I was convinced by other people that I wasn't allowed to like it anymore. And I got over that. And I think you should too, Ben. I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. I think at some point in your life, somebody has told you that you're not allowed to enjoy those things anymore, and I'm trying to tell you that you can. It's okay for you to enjoy the things that you enjoyed when you were a kid. Please do. You know, please don't be convinced by people that you're not allowed to like things anymore. Okay, we're past 8 o'clock, by the way, so we are definitely ending late today. I'm still going to finish this scenario. We've only got a couple more wagons to shunt. But it looks like we might be finishing about 20 past. So I do apologise. If anyone has to dash off all of a sudden, you know, by all means go ahead. Don't let me keep you. But we are gonna be going a bit late today. Watch pronouns. She, her. Thanks, Chrissy. Okay, here we go. So we're going to have to run this one around the triangle. And then we've still got 2 more. This shunting challenge has taken longer than I thought it would, I'll be honest. But we are nearly done with it. We've only got 3 more wagons now. And honestly, I've enjoyed the conversation today. It has been some good conversation. Nearly home, going to go stretch my legs, BRB. No worries, Forest. But yeah, so like I say, we're not going to finish the game today, unfortunately. We'll finish this mission, but we won't be able to get all the collectibles. The next time I play this game will be whenever the next DLC comes out. I didn't really get a chance to talk about it today, but I do want to quickly mention, you know, DLC for this game. There's going to be a lot of it, and if anyone's watching right now who's a Thomas fan and you want to play this game and you're not familiar with how Dovetail Games works, I do want to just give you a word of warning. This game will have a lot of DLC. That is how Dovetail Games work. I've been playing Train Simulator Classic and Train Sim World for a few years now. This game is going to have a lot of DLC. They haven't officially announced anything yet, but they have heavily hinted at several characters already. You know, like some of the stories, they name drop certain characters, you know, kind of teasing that they will eventually appear. I mean, we're talking about Dovetail Games and Mattel. Mattel is obsessed with merchandise. There is so much Thomas merch out there, and Dovetail Games are obsessed with making DLC. So there is 100% going to be DLC for this game, and there is going to be a lot of it. And I think that people need to kind of curb their expectations a little bit about what sort of things we're going to see in DLCs, because I have seen people suggesting some stuff that I think is very unlikely. Again, as someone who's played Dovetail Games for a long time, I don't want people to get their hopes up too much. I don't want people to get too excited about DLCs, because there are certain things that aren't going to happen. Number one, somebody suggested that they should do a DLC that includes Edward, Henry, and Toby. That is not going to happen. Those 3 characters will be 3 separate DLCs. Train Sim World has never had a DLC, apart from a route expansion. You will never see a DLC that has 2 different engines in it. They're one engine per DLC. We've already had a DLC for James. Edward is going to be a DLC, Henry is going to be a DLC, and Toby is going to be a DLC. They will be 3 separate DLCs. They will not be a single DLC. I guarantee it. The only characters I can imagine coming as a pair, apart from obviously Donald and Douglas and Bill and Ben, because they're twins, you might get Duck and Oliver as a pair. Maybe they'll do a DLC for the Little Western line, which includes Duck and Oliver. I can see that happening. I can't see Edward and Henry coming in one DLC. Those will definitely be 2 separate DLCs, right? I think there's also characters that people are expecting that we aren't going to get. My favourite character is Boko. I do not think we are ever going to see a Boko DLC. He is too obscure of a character. They're going to start with the main ones. I think they'll start with the 12 numbered engines. So that includes Henry, Edward, Toby, Duck, Oliver, Donald, and Douglas. I think those will be the first ones, so that then we have the 12 named characters in the game. Then they may add, like, some of the more popular characters from the CGI series, maybe Rebecca, for example. But yeah, obscure characters are unlikely. We're not going to see Boko. You know, if your favourite characters, like Timothy, for example, you're not going to see him. I'm sorry to say. And I'm not saying this to, like, let people down. I'm saying this to kind of just tell people to curb their expectations. You know, don't expect too much, because it's not gonna. You're not gonna get everything that you want. That's all I'm saying. I know there's a lot of Thomas fans out there who are gonna be wanting a lot of characters, and some things we're just not gonna see. Like I say, I'm just trying to manage expectations. They will start with the main characters. They will start with the Little Western line and the Brendan Branch line. We might get the Skarloey Railway, but I'm not too confident about that one either. I mean, looking at the map, the most likely things that they'll do are the Little Western over on the west, the Brendan Branch line down here. This is going to be a loop line to the Search and Rescue Centre, so you might get Flynn and Bell, potentially. There's the Peel Godred line here. I'm not sure what the Peel Godred line looks like in the CGI series. I think there are some characters on it, so we might see something there. There's the Kurt Ronan branch. We'll probably see that, but it's not a very long branch. There's only one station on it. Skarloey, potentially. And the Norrenby branch, I think we'll probably see that at some point as well. This will probably go to the Vickerstown Diesel Works. I do think that's a potential DLC. A Diesel Works DLC that could maybe include multiple characters, like Sydney and Paxton. But the vast majority of DLC for this game is just going to be $12.99 for one character. We've already seen it with James. This game already has a paid DLC, and it's James. And James costs $12.99. You get the character of James, and you get a few scenarios. That's what the other DLCs are going to be like. Again, I'm just saying this in a way to manage people's expectations. The DLCs, there'll be lots of them. There'll be at least £12 each, and they will mostly contain one character each. That's how it's going to be. You'll get route upgrades. They'll probably cost £25 each, and they might have a couple of characters in them, but most of the DLCs, it's going to be one character, $12.99. That's how it's going to be. Hey, Chris, how you doing? So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I just wanted to mention that before the end of the stream, because I've seen a lot of people making requests for DLC, and I just don't want to. I don't want people to be disappointed. You know, I've seen people being like, you know, add whiff, and I'm like, I just don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry, but I don't think you're going to get that character. Or people being like, yeah, they should do a DLC where they add in Edward, Henry, and Toby. You're not going to get that many characters in one DLC. That's not going to happen. So yeah. Expect DLC for this game. Expect there to be a lot of it. But don't expect too much. Don't expect to get your favourite obscure character who's only appeared in 3 episodes. You know, you're not going to get Fergus. You're not going to get Murdoch. You're not going to get Arthur. Those characters are not going to happen. With mods, hopefully there's a good modding scene for this game. There's a really great modding scene for Train Sim World and Train Sim Classic, so, you know, you can keep your fingers crossed that your favourite character might appear as a mod, but as a DLC, you're not going to get obscure characters as DLCs, right? It's just not, that's not going to happen. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to kind of curb people's expectations a little bit. You know, don't expect to see every single character and every single corner of the island, because it's never gonna be quite that in depth. You know what I mean? Is this the new Train Sim Thomas the Tank game? It is, yes. I played Train Sim, didn't know about the DLCs till I bought it. Oh, honestly, like I love Train Sim Classic in particular. I have spent a lot of money on DLC for that game. It's a game with a lot of DLC. Train Sim World is the same, and this game is going to be the same as well. Anyway, we're nearly finished. We have massively overrun today, which I do apologise for, but we are very, very nearly done. Just need to get these last 2 wagons into place. Oh, that was a bit of a bump. Good job we didn't derail there. Okay, uncouple you. What resolution is your face cam? I've got it set to 720p at the minute. It can do 1080, but I don't feel the need to have it that high for my streams because I'm only tiny on the screen, you know what I mean? Can't remember what version I had, but it had Milton Keynes to London as the first scenario. Yeah, there is a DLC for Train Sim World 6 that does Milton Keynes to London. You should definitely do a Sodor stream again, not wait until DLC. The thing is, this is the last mission. Like, once we've finished this, we've played every mission in the game. So there's not actually anything for us to do in another stream, apart from just wander around in free mode. So I don't know if I really want to do that. Like I say, I definitely will play the DLC when it comes out, but I don't really think I have any reason to play it in the meantime, you know what I mean? Froze, says Forrest. Am I frozen right now on TikTok? I quite like the timetable mode. I have had a lot of fun with the timetable mode just in my free time. I've done a lot of timetable mode. But yeah, I don't know if that'd be as enjoyable on stream. I've enjoyed playing the story missions on stream because you've kind of got something to do. Whereas with free roam, it's a lot more open-ended, you know. You froze on TikTok for me, says Forrest. Ah. I don't know if it might just be you, because nobody else has mentioned me being frozen. It might be on your end, Forrest. But, you know, you're on purple now. It's working again now. I mean, if you want to stay on purple, that's absolutely fine, you know. That's, we got quite a lively audience over there. You're good, thank you, Royal Lugia. Is it Lugia or Lugia? What's your favourite Thomas character? My favourite Thomas character is Boko, who, unfortunately, I'm fairly confident will never appear in this game, because he's too obscure a character, but I love Boko. Big Boko fan. Lugia. I see. Okay, we're nearly done. This is the last move. You might find a mod. That's true, Forrest. The only thing for this game is, so far, there's no in-game mod interface. Like, it's not like Train Sim World where there's a mod page in the game. So it might be a little bit trickier to mod this game. But I do hope that we see a modding scene develop for it. I mean, look at any other train simulator game. Look at, like, Trains or... I think Trains is the biggest one. If you look at Trains, every Thomas character you can imagine has been modded into Trains. And if that community decides to move on to Wonders of Sodor, you know, we could see... even the most obscure characters could wind up in the game as mods. Like I say, just because they're not going to make them as DLCs, it doesn't mean that we'll never see those characters. Boko is a fairly popular character, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets modded into the game at some point. And like I say, there are already models for these engines in other games, so, I mean, I don't know how difficult it'd be, but you could always port the models over to Train Sim World, right? James or Duck is my favourite. I like Duck as well. I think Duck's a very big fan favourite, you know, and James as well. Both quite fan favourite characters. TS World? No, this is Wonders of Sodor. It's from the same people. It's the same game engine, but this is Thomas and Friends Wonders of Sodor. Okay, and that is it. Ta-da! We did it! Woo.
Well done. You managed to shove the trucks into the correct order.
That took so much longer than expected, but I had a lot of fun. And that's it. That was the final mission. So we have now essentially 100% of the game. We still haven't got all the collectibles. We're not going to have time to do that today, unfortunately. But we finished all the missions. I've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun. There's not much else to say. I'm going to quit the game, but I will talk a little bit more about it before we finish up, because I have really enjoyed playing this game. I have so thoroughly enjoyed playing Wonders of Sodor. Very chaotic stream, says Forrest. Yes, the stream itself has been a bit all over the place, but this game, Wonders of Sodor, it's so incredible. Just so nostalgic. I really feel like, you know, I'm healing my inner child, as it were. I think this is such an incredible game for kids and adult Thomas fans. This is literally what adult Thomas fans have been asking for years, you know. And I'm not even exaggerating. For years, adult Thomas fans have been asking for an official Thomas and Friends train simulator, and we've got it. And it's amazing. It's a bit basic at the minute, you know, there's only 6 characters, there's only a few missions, the whole island isn't done yet. But it's such an incredible thing to finally see this, because people have wanted it for so long. I've really loved it. I've absolutely adored playing this game. Obviously, we've only played it on stream twice, but I've played this a lot in my free time as well. I actually have 20 hours logged in this game already, which I'm sure some people have a lot more than that. But yeah, considering I've only played it for 6 hours on stream, that means I've played it for 14 hours in my free time as well. 12 hours in my free time as well. I love it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I will be playing it again when DLCs come out. I'm predicting that the first DLC will either be the Little Western with Duck and Oliver, or the Brendan branch line with Edward and maybe Bill and Ben. Those are the 2 DLCs that I think are going to be next. And as soon as they come out, I'm playing them. I'm absolutely going to be playing the DLC for this game because I have enjoyed it so much. Again, I don't think I'm going to play it again before that because... God, my lips are chapped today. Sorry about that. I don't think I'm going to play it again before that, simply because there's nothing else for us to do. We finished all the missions. Apart from the collectibles, there's not really anything else to do. So I'm not going to play it again for a while, but when the DLC comes out, absolutely. Absolutely. This has been so much fun. So many people have watched as well. I've been so surprised by how many people have enjoyed watching me play this game. If you want to play it for yourself, please do check it out. It's out on all platforms, except the Switch. I think it comes out on the Switch in May. But get this game. If you're a Thomas fan, even if you're not a Thomas fan, if you used to be a Thomas fan, if you watched Thomas when you were a kid, get this game. Heal your inner child. You know, it's so much fun. Fantastic experience. I have loved it so much. And I will be playing it again. I will be playing it again, but not until the DLC comes out. That being said, that's all we got time for again today. Before I finish, I do just want to quickly shout out all of my other socials. So I stream on TikTok, YouTube, and Purple. That's this website right here. I'm not allowed to say the name of it on TikTok because they get mad. But you can watch the stream over here, you can watch the stream on YouTube, or you can watch the stream on TikTok. It is entirely up to you. Whichever platform you're watching on, please do consider giving me a follow or subscribe, whatever else. It's very appreciated. If you would like to support me financially, there are a couple of ways you can do that. If you do watch over on this channel, you can become a subscriber for £5 a month, and I will shout out those names in a minute when they appear on my screen. So you can become a sub on Purple for £5 a month. You get access to custom emotes, you get access to sub-only chat, you get VIP access in the Discord server, and obviously you'd be contributing to allow me to keep streaming over on Purple and keep doing what I'm doing. Alternatively, if you want to pay a little bit less, you can become a Patreon. That only costs £1 a month, and you get access to behind-the-scenes content, including early access videos, uncut footage, all that kind of stuff. You can pay as much as you like, but £1 is the minimum to get your name on the board. So thank you very much to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Amy, Marika, Aaron, Liam, Matt, Max, Andre, and Leon. Thank you all so much for supporting me over there on Patreon. And shout out to the Purple subs who are on screen now: STFC, Max, P, Betsy White, Trina, Moomin, Scrivy, Ironboy, Mix Ames, Draydog, and Catpig. Thank you all so much for subbing over there. One last thing that I want to mention before we finish is my Instagram. If you like my train-related content, if you've enjoyed this stream and you want to see more specifically train-related stuff, please consider checking out my Instagram. I have an Instagram account where I just post trains. I went to the East Lancashire Railway yesterday for their Steam Gala, so I've got loads of video from that. I went to the National Railway Museum last week, so I've been posting loads of photos from that as well. And I also post stuff about my model railway, so if you want to see more of my model stuff as well, basically if you want to see anything train related, consider checking out the Instagram. That's it. That's the last thing I wanted to shout out, so thank you all so much once again for watching. Sorry we've run over a little bit today, but I have thoroughly enjoyed playing Wonders of Sodor for you today. The next live stream will be tomorrow. I'll be playing Subnautica. We're doing really well on that at the minute, and I've been absolutely loving that as well. So if you are interested in Subnautica, join me for tomorrow's stream. Great stream. Thank you, Saul. Thank you very much, Guna. Have a lovely evening. See you tomorrow. Thank you, STFC. Thank you once again, everyone, no matter where you've watched. It's been absolutely wonderful. Like I say, check out Purple, check out YouTube, check out TikTok, check out the Discord server, check out the Patreon, check out Instagram. Check out all of those and more. There's links in my bio to everything. Thank you very much, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye! Okay, I'm not going to do a raid tonight, Twitch. I'm tired. So I'm just going to love you and leave you. Bye-bye, everyone. See you all